Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. Wow, what a crazy story we have today here. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, for joining us. We have a famous person, and especially I'm very excited because it's somebody who did a lot of things on Jimmy's favorite team. And so I feel like this is a guy you may or may not have had a jersey of at some point.
Probably.
I feel like, yeah. So we'll get to it, though. He doesn't know who it is. I'm going to surprise him here. So quickly, before we do that, though, number one thing I have to announce, by the way, is that September 18th will be the debut episode of Your Stupid Opinions.
It's going to happen.
We got the feed going. Everything's good now. It's all great. Everything finally is smoothed over, and we're allowed. September 18th. It's a Monday morning, and it'll be released like in the morning. So check it out on your way to work or when you get up or when you're, I don't know, masturbating in the shower. However you like to listen to your podcast. Yeah, I don't care. Whatever you got to do, like morning bong hits, that's a good time for that. You're going to like it. So
the shower's popular for that, isn't it? I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's a private area. That's all. It's a private area. Yeah, that's what I mean. Easy clean up. I don't know. So there we go. Check that out. Can't wait for that. You definitely want to head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets for live shows for Small Town Murder. We are in Atlanta September 8th, Charlotte September 9th, and then there's tickets left in Dallas for December 2nd, and then I think there's maybe a couple tickets left in Philly at this point, but I'm not sure.
Better hurry.
So get in there right now and get all those tickets. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, all sorts of new merchandise up. Check it out. Good stuff there, and links to everything especially as well. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. You want more stuff? We got more stuff. Bonus stuff. And it's for a measly $5. Anybody $5 a month or above, a cup of coffee will get you instead a couple hundred back episodes of bonus stuff available nowhere else. And then, of course, 2 new episodes every other week. 1 Crime and Sports, 1 Small Town Murder, and you get it all. Baby, that's right. This week, what you're going to get for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about Karl Malone. Very famous man, dream team guy, all this stuff. Also, teenage impregnator. So, also sophomore impregnator. So we'll talk about that. Actually, earlier, I think an 8th grade impregnator. So,
oh God, she hasn't seen a high school yet. Yeah,
we'll get into why Karl Malone was allowed to, impregnate teenage girls and still be some sort of weird athletic folk hero in this country.
And have a signature dunk.
Yeah, we'll talk and have a shoe. We'll talk all about it. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about 2 of the craziest murders. What we do is here, we'll have to, Allison goes over cases, I go over cases, and over time, you look at thousands and thousands of cases. And every once in a while, you'll come across one where you go, wow, this doesn't work for the show. It's in not quite a small town, or it's whatever. It's not long enough, but holy shit, that's the craziest thing I ever heard. So we're going to talk about 2 of those that we've picked out, and they're 2 of the craziest murders I've ever heard of. Just the weirdest circumstances, wild stuff, and a lot of fun. So that's Shut Up and Give Me Murder. Oh, no, that's patreon.com/crime-and-sports. So do that. Get in there. Without further ado, I think it's time for the asshole of the day here. And this guy's a real asshole. He really is.
Yeah.
This is a guy I don't like as a person. I think he's a real jackass. And he's just the type of human being that I see and I go, nope, not my kind of guy. Bill Romanowski, everybody.
Oh, Bill, you jerk.
Bill, you stupid, dumb
Loved him
shit
for a
moron.
sec.
Yeah.
A blink.
Here's the thing about him. I will be fair. As much as I can't stand this man as a person, he was a very, very good football player.
Unbelievable.
Based a lot on his own will, also steroids, and or whatever. I don't know, alleged. Not even alleged. I think he's been caught.
He's admitted it.
Yeah, and also all sorts of whatever the hell he was putting in HGH. I don't know what it was exactly. I'm not a doctor, but it was definitely chemically enhanced. Also effort, though. So, as a player, I do definitely respect him. And much like we said, Chris Benoit was a great wrestler and then he murdered his family. This guy, huge asshole, also pretty good player. So we'll be fair as we can be. But
one of only a handful of people who has 2 rings with 2 different teams.
I think so. Yes, he is. He's on a short
Niners
list there.
And the Broncos.
And the Broncos. Yeah, he's on a short list. Yeah, and he not really the contributing. He was.
No, I assure you, Terrell Davis and John Elway and
Joe Montana, Steve Young, John Elway. He had his quarterbacks were literally 3 of the top 10 quarterbacks in the history of the league. So he has been blessed with being on some pretty fucking lucky teams. Let's be realistic here. But
his salary happened to fit in the cap of really great teams.
But he's also starting middle linebacker. So that's something. He's a good player. So you need a guy like that. William Thomas Romanowski is his full name here.
Old
Billy Tom Romanowski. He's born April 2nd, 1966. He's from Connecticut. Did you know that?
Really?
Yes, he's from Rockville, Connecticut. That's where he was born. I knew he went to Boston College. He went to high school in Connecticut as well. He's a big guy too, 6'4", 245. He's a big hunk of humanity. He's not a guy that I would,
Hunk of humanity.
He's a hunk of humanity, just a giant chunk of person.
I think chunk is a better word because he's.
Well, a hunker. I don't mean a hunk like he's hunky. I just mean like if you hacked a hunk off of something. Give me a hunk of that roast beef. That's what his brain is, a hunk of roast beef. Yeah, he's got roast beef brain, Bill Romanowski here.
Yeah.
And he is known as, by the way, it's later on, we'll get into it, but he really likes to fuck with Mark Chamorro, who we obviously like to fuck with too, but for very different reasons. We like to do it because he probably diddled a teenage girl. A child. That's why we like to do it. He at least took a hot tub with her. Whereas Romanowski likes to make fun of him for being dumb, which is hilarious. That they were on the same Boston College team. He likes to call him dumb, and later on there's a quote where someone's like, Chamorro's pretty dumb, but if anybody could beat him to the dumbness title, it's Bill Romanowski. Like they're like,
I don't think when I think of
tight race.
When I think of people who could be Mensa candidates, Bill Romanowski doesn't run to the top of that list.
No, he's not a bright man. It doesn't seem
Seems like a dummy. Yeah,
he definitely seems. Remember him on Pros versus Joes? It was like
remember he's been in so many things that like
we could do a bonus episode on Pros versus Joes.
Oh, we should.
We definitely will one of these days. Yeah.
Was that the one where people tried to race? They were Ocho Cinco.
They would compete against professional
normal
athletes.
Dudes. Yeah.
In the sport that they were like, fucking all-star / Pro Bowl / Hall of Famers in, because they were like, I'm fucking pretty athletic. I never like made it anywhere or nothing. I played in high school, but I'm pretty athletic. And it's like, now you're going to try to rebound over Dennis Rodman, which I've seen. And Rodman just like taps it to himself a couple of times. He barely has to move because he's 6'9" and knows what he's doing.
I'm just as good as Rodman, but I got my fridge ticket, so now I work on AC.
It's I read a quote in this thing about Pros versus Joes where Rebecca Lobo, who's the WNBA player, and she was it's like a WNBA Hall of Famer or whatever. She said, I missed my daughter's first steps because I was recording Pros versus Joes late at night with John Rocker. And I was like, what a terrible fucking fate. That's just so sad.
That's a horrible sentence.
Yeah. It was like they'd put like some normal guy in the ring with Roy Jones Jr. and have him get punched in the face. They'd have guys shooting hockey pucks at people. It was like, what are you doing?
These are people that do superhuman feats.
Will Clark hitting hot shots down to first base at guys trying to fucking... I've seen that. It's crazy.
Running grounders at a plumber?
Yeah, the one guy trying to tackle Cordell Stewart was pretty funny.
He was just a UPS guy.
Yeah, he's just like Cordell barely makes a move, and the guy just falls down to the fucking wrong side. It's you're not tackling him. And then Romanowski,
Cordell,
it was try to get past Romanowski.
Try to get past him,
which you're not, and
you're not going to do.
He's drilling people. These guys are normal guys, and he takes special glee in hurting them. You could tell.
That's the best one. It's got to be.
It is sort of appropriate in this thing too, because they have the guys like talk a bunch of shit too, and like really, you really want to see them get crushed. Yeah. You know what I mean? You really want to see them get crushed because the athlete's like, oh yeah, oh okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure, man.
Sure.
Like the fucking ball.
So fucking weird. What a weird scenario. So anyway, back to Romanowski here. His parents are. We don't know. I don't know if he's an exact junior, but his dad is also Bill Romanowski.
Really?
So I don't know. I don't know if he was William Thomas. Would make a lot of sense. So he's an honorary junior, if nothing else, Romanowski.
Close.
He's as dumb as a junior, I'll tell you that much. So Donna and Bill here, he has 5 siblings, Bill does, growing up.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. His parents had a dairy farm in Vernon, Connecticut.
Is that right?
Yeah, dairy farm. Apparently here, his father really, I guess his father used to play baseball and was pretty good at it, so his father really encouraged him to play sports, and he did, and he ends up playing for his high school team, which was Rockville at the time, as a freshman, and he was 6 feet tall, 170 pounds when he first started.
That's big.
Yeah, he said, though, but he needed to bulk up, he knew. He knew he had to bulk up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's 170 pounds. You're not going to be able to, you can't blow guys up, pop them in the chest.
High schoolers for sure.
Yeah, not if you're a freshman and they're 200, though. That's the problem. It's like, I got to be bigger than the 200-pound kids and the juniors, So his high school football coach said he filled out in his last 2 years. Wonder what that was. He had an outstanding work ethic and played every down as if it were the last down in a championship game. At times, we had to try to tone him down a bit so that he wouldn't expend all of his energy before the game was over.
Oh, you mean like roid rage?
Like a guy who's... They sound like they have to, like, just put him in a direction and send him that way. And he's just like, cross-eyed and fucking...
Slamming his fists in the dirt.
Yeah, low-cog, cross-eyed, fist-slamming fucking moron here. That's what they make him sound like. So he was crazy, though, on the field, like he was in the NFL, as it never changed, I guess. His coach said he had an outstanding work ethic, though. That's what he kept saying, outstanding work ethic. He was dedicated to his teammates, and he played through injuries and everything else. They said in his senior year he had a really bad fever and an infection, and he played through it and got more than 10 tackles, so he was crushing shit. So colleges were starting to look at him, and he looked at either Boston College or Notre Dame. I want to go somewhere Irish is what I'm trying to get at. That's what he said.
God.
I want to go somewhere that's just very Irish. And
I'm shocked he went to Boston College, unless Notre Dame didn't want him. Yeah.
He could have. I think
did?
it's just closer. Yeah, he wanted to go somewhere close. And at the time, too, this is the 80s here, which is Doug Flutie's at Boston College.
Sure.
Boston College was actually like a powerhouse at the time. This is when they did the big Hail Mary and beat Miami. This is when he's there. So it's Boston College. He picked the right place. He always seems to end up in the right place at the right time, Romanowski.
Wow.
It's a weird thing.
I wonder if I'd have to ask him, but I wonder if Gary Goldman was trying out for this team.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to need Romanowski. I'd have to ask him like you have. I'm like, how are you going to ask Romanowski? He's going to kill us after this. He's going to want to tackle us, trying to get past me after this.
I'd have to ask Gary Goldman if this is the team he tried out for, because he was supposed to go. He was supposed to play for Boston College, and he fucking quit.
Yeah, football.
And it was. I think I don't know if he got hit or.
We'd have to find out what age he was. Maybe Romanowski. Maybe he's like, I'm not playing with this asshole.
He's close to that age.
Well, maybe
he's close to that.
He just didn't want to play with an asshole like Romanowski. You know what? I'm going to go write material about you. You're a moron. And then he just took off. That's possible.
Yeah.
That's possible.
I'm better at making fun of you. I'm going to do that.
Goldman's a smart guy. So Romanowski, he arrived there in the summer of '84. He didn't think he was going to be able to play in his freshman year. They thought he was going to redshirt him here. But he said the coach said, no, he knew he needed to get this guy on the field. He's a crazy son of a bitch, and we got to get out there. But this year is '84. They go 10-2 Boston College. So Not bad. Doug Flutie at quarterback. I mean, this is they're a national powerhouse.
Great
I mean,
team,
people are looking at them as a team. Yeah, people pay attention to them. He said, my goal coming in was to make the traveling team, maybe play special teams and try to work my way up. I thought there was no way I would play linebacker in my freshman year. Next thing I knew, I was on a plane headed for Alabama to play on special teams.
Playing Alabama.
Yeah, got a major powerhouse thrown right into it. So he would get more and more playing time as the season concluded here. They faced Houston in the Cotton Bowl, and Romanowski had a great game. He kicked ass. The Eagles won. This is Boston College Eagles. They won 45-28. He had 13 tackles. Bill, big game for him, and this is all as a freshman. Yep, and 11 unassisted tackles were a Cotton Bowl record. So
really?
He became the first true freshman to earn the Outstanding Defensive Player in the Cotton Bowl award.
Unreal.
So, yeah, he's had a great time. He did great. Romanowski said the attitude on the field was different that day than at any other time during the season. We were all playing together and pulling for each other. So they won. There you go. Yeah, not too bad here. So they end up 1985 here. He played in all 12 games. Wow, not bad. In 1985, the Boston College is only 4-8 this year because Doug Flutie left. So Doug Flutie leaves, you got problems. That's the issue there. That's about all that is. Oh, wow. Tom Waddle was on this team. Remember him? Little Bears wide receiver. Little tough Chicago Bears wide receiver.
Oh, no.
Little tiny white guy that used to get the shit knocked out of him all the time. He'd get up all concussed and shit and just wander back to the huddle, and they'd be like, wow, he's tough.
Like Don Beebe.
Yeah, well, worse, though. Waddle was like,
really?
His whole game was like, look at him. His helmet's on sideways. He's walking to the wrong sideline. They just turn him around, send him back to the huddle, and he runs a pattern on the next play. That was his whole game.
Runs a pattern looking out the eye hole, looking out the ear hole of his helmet.
There's a game, and I've seen like the highlights that they show where he literally is out fucking cold on the field. They fucking wave some smelling salts in his face, pop him up, and then he's scoring a touchdown on the next drive, getting drilled in the end zone, and they have to help him up, and he doesn't know where he is. And they're like, that, and the announcers are going, that Tom Waddle's such a tough guy.
Yeah. That's not tough.
He just forgot both his kids' names, but man, is he tough. Look at him.
I wonder where he is today.
I don't know. I hope he's doing well, but I bet you doesn't remember. He might be doing well just because he doesn't remember what bad is like. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like he might be pissing his pants a lot.
I don't know. I hope not. Poor guy. I mean, they really didn't do much for him in terms of trying to keep him safe, so that's kind of scary. 85, though. Bill, 12 games. He has an interception, which is decent here. 86, they go 9-3 during that season. Yeah. And which is good, coming back again. Do they go to a bowl? I don't think they go to a bowl here, though. So, again, Sean...
9-6 they didn't?
I don't think so. 9-3? They must have gone somewhere, but it doesn't say they went anywhere. Maybe they didn't accept a bowl bid. Maybe they were going for one bowl and didn't get it and didn't want to go to the Weed Whacker Bowl. I don't know.
Right.
That's very possible.
The Scott's Turf Bowl.
That happened sometimes back then when there was always a lot of bowls, but there's less. Now there's a fucking bowl everywhere.
You could turn down the Weed and Feed Bowl?
You can turn down any bowl. That's all. Except for the big ones that were like this conference champion plays this conference champion. All the rest were just invites. So they'd try to it was them trying to put a game together that people would come see. That's all it is. Huh. That's all bowl games were, just spectacles, basically. Yeah, they were horseshit, except for like 2 of them. Yeah. So, this year, the better year this year. Romanowski is playing in all 11 games. He has 4 interceptions this year. So, seems to be dropping back in coverage a lot. Not bad, though. They play in, it's the Hall of Fame Bowl this year they play in. Oh. They beat the Georgia Bulldogs 27-24 that year.
That's great.
So, not bad. So 87, he's playing all 4 years in Boston College. They go 5-6. Boston College does. Mediocre again. Again, their quarterback that they just had left. So now they're got to start back.
Do well. Yeah,
start back over again. So Romanowski plays in 11 games, has 2 interceptions this year, and he said that he wanted to take his role as a college athlete seriously. He said, quote, while my friends were out until 4 or 5 in the morning, my self-imposed curfews were designed to ensure 8 hours of sleep minimum.
Self-imposed?
Self-imposed. I'm getting sleep, baby.
How about that?
I wonder why everyone thinks he's an asshole. I can't imagine. So, I mean, that's fine. You need to get your rest. That's good.
Yeah.
And especially him, I don't know, he wasn't the fastest guy. He wasn't the most athletic guy. So I guess he needed to have all of his rest, have his body full of whatever substances, and then focus 110% to be good. Otherwise, maybe he wouldn't have been as good. So,
but his hits were fucking electric.
He would lay
Holy
everything
shit.
he had into you. Maybe that's probably contributing to why he's so dumb also. How many times did he lead with his head and fucking do that? So
he thinks he's just hurting them.
Yeah, but no. He's like, I don't know what the fuck. I see stars too, but look at him. He's down. That used to be the attitude, though.
Right.
You'll get up, hit him harder. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Make sure he hurts more than you. So it's weird. Not really his fault. That's just football at that time.
Yeah.
So he earned the George Bulger Lowe Award as New England's top college football player.
Oh.
For whatever's that's worth there. He did have a B average also in the classroom.
That's why he thinks he's so smart.
Yeah, and I'm sure that he did all of his work.
I'm sure all of it was his.
All of it was his. Yeah, there was
all of it was in his penmanship.
Never any of the cheerleader booster organization, whatever, doing any homework for him. That would be absolutely beneath him, I'm sure. He was the recipient of the Thomas F. Scanlon Memorial Award as BC's top scholar athlete. A B average is their top scholar athlete.
That's embarrassing.
Do you know how many fucking athletes they have at a college? There's 110 guys on the football team. Never mind. And they're all going, he got a B? Oh, man. I can't top that. Now, I'm dumb. Don't get me wrong. I didn't go to college at all. But I feel like out of 110 people just on the football team, there's no kicker who's smart, a punter who's...
There's not somebody that is on the bench that doesn't have to play every week that has time to study more.
Backup quarterback who's into physics, none of that shit. What happened to that guy? Where's that guy?
We only shoot for B's because Boston starts with B.
Yeah, that's the thing. But top scholar athlete, that's of all the athletes.
Everybody. There's not a shot putter or a fucking...
They have a baseball team. Nobody on the girls' track team has over a B average, you're telling me. Women's track.
Amazing.
Or, I don't care. Pick a fucking sport. Just...
Incredible.
Wow. That is a dumb fucking athletic program.
Doing nothing for the dumb jock stereotype. Zero.
And Boston College is like a good college, it's
a
known
good school,
as. So they're like, well, we're definitely slubbing here. We'll take whatever dumb shit morons wash up ashore as long as they can run around a field. So
top scholar,
top scholar. He graduated with academic honors and won the Scanlon Award here. So 1988 NFL draft here. By the way, 1988 NFL draft. By the way, this season, who is the offensive MVP? Or who's the MVP of the league this year? Never mind.
In 88?
88. Who's the MVP of the NFL?
I don't. Is it Joe Montana?
Boomer Esiason.
Is it really?
It absolutely is.
MVP. Most athletic man in the league.
That's the guy there. So this year, number one overall pick, 1988 draft. Jimmie.
88? Jesus.
88. We've talked about it once or twice a couple years ago, though. It's been a while.
Is it a wide receiver for Tampa?
It is certainly not.
No.
It was a linebacker for Atlanta who went on to, I believe, play tight end eventually for a bit.
Wait.
Andre Bruce.
Oh. No, I don't know who that is.
Number 2, Neil Smith. I know you know who that is. Kansas City defensive end
because he
chased John Elway around for years.
You sure did, yeah.
Benny Blades, Paul Gruber, Ricky Dixon from Cincinnati, Tim Brown, Hall of Famer, number 6 overall, Michael Irvin, number 11 overall. That's what we talked about. Number 7, Sterling Sharp. Good year for wide receivers. Those are Sterling Sharp should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way.
Should, yeah.
That's
ridiculous.
Injury
killed his career.
Yeah, he was a Hall of Famer.
Fucking good.
Nobody was catching as many passes as him at the time he went down. So him,
maybe Chris Carter.
No, not that. Not in numbers. He was setting records at that time.
Yeah,
for him and Favre
for most catches.
Most catches, yeah, because Favre was throwing at him every time. He was like his security blanket.
Yeah,
there's that guy, but still 3 receivers that are that incredible in the top 11. That's pretty impressive. Big year for them. So also Anthony Miller, remember him for a while? He was on Denver. He was San Diego. He went to Denver. He was a good little receiver, too. John Stevens, Ironhead was number 24. Remember Ironhead Hayward?
No.
Ironhead from New Orleans, big giant fullback who ran the ball all the time. He was fucking awesome. So Thurman Thomas is in the second round. Another Hall of
second
Famer.
round?
Second rounder here. Not bad, though. Yeah, Thurman Thomas, second round, mid-second rounder, 40th overall, Hall of Famer.
Unreal.
Pittsburgh, Dermontti Dawson, Hall of Famer there. Then third round here, San Francisco selects Bill Romanowski with the 80th overall pick.
Wow.
Third rounder.
It's a value pick there.
That's a very value. Yes, exactly. Yeah. You're getting a lot of value for that pick. Absolutely. The next guy after him never played in the NFL.
Is that right?
Yep. So that's how the third round can go. You know what I mean? You can get a Hall of Famer, like there's some. You can get a great player. You can get nobody.
Nothing.
You never know. So 88 49ers. This is you're coming into a dynasty.
Oh, Jesus.
This is the year they beat. This is the year they beat the Bengals at the last minute with the last minute drive down the field with Jerry Rice cutting up the field and John Taylor getting the touchdown. So, yeah,
it's a good one.
They go 10-6 this year actually because I believe Montana started out the year hurt, if I'm not mistaken. They beat Minnesota in the playoffs 34-9. They beat the Bears 28-3. So they're crushing people. And then that great Super Bowl against Cincinnati, one of the best ones I've ever seen.
An iconic catch.
Yep. That and Tim Krumrie's leg breaking and them showing it wiggling back and forth.
Oh, God.
His shin broke in half.
Oh,
and
God.
They show his foot flopping back and forth in slow motion like 8 times after it happens. It's gross. As a kid,
Fantastic.
I was like, ew, nasty. But this is a great team. Roger Craig, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Joe Montana, Tom Rathman. They're loaded. Ronnie Lott's in the fucking defensive backfield. Terrific fucking team this is. Wow, lucky to come into that team as a rookie here. He plays in all 16 games and starts 8 for that kind of team. Yeah, he had 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, no sacks, but that's all right. It's fine. So does very well for himself. Gets a Super Bowl ring right away.
Hell yeah.
Boom, ring like that.
Is that the Walsh coach team?
Yeah, that's still Bill Walsh there. And then George Seifert takes over the next year when they kick the living shit out of the Broncos in the Super Bowl. So the next year,
face.
Next year, one of the strongest teams of all time, 14-2.
Oh, Jesus.
14-2 rolling. They beat the Vikings 41-13 in the playoffs.
That's a fun game to watch.
That's the next game 30-3 against the Rams.
Jesus Christ.
And then in the Super Bowl, that game was over.
It was over
in the first quarter.
It started.
Done. 55-10. And it just felt like they were piling on. They were just kicking the living
to play this. Why are
balls
we doing
off the Broncos. That was very, very sad, that game. I liked the Broncos and hated the Niners, so I was very upset about that. So, again, he's got 2 rings now, and really he could have not played a down and they would have won both those rings. He had nothing to do with either of these rings. Nothing. If he got hurt in game 1, his knee exploded, they would have still fucking went 14-2 and done great. Because he only started 4 games this year.
Yeah.
Played in 16.
He's not the key to the success, for sure.
Absolutely not. They'll plug somebody else in.
They have Jerry fucking Rice.
And they have literally Montana to Rice as their connection here. Like it's literally the most famous quarterback receiver combo together ever. So you're gonna.
They really didn't need anybody else.
Yeah, Montana to Rice. They have a good defense, a good offensive line, good running backs.
Yeah,
they had legendary Bill Walsh with the West Coast offense that nobody could fucking mess with, and it was a lot. So he had 1 interception and 1 forced fumble. Yeah, they could have won the Super Bowl very easily. Sure. It might have been 55-13, maybe we'll say at most. And I doubt it, because in the Super Bowl here in the playoffs. In the playoffs he didn't even have he had no stats in the playoffs. I think he was just mainly playing special teams there. So 1990 they go 14-2. Again, this was one of my favorite losses for the Niners ever because they beat Washington, pummeled them in the divisional round, and then lost 15-13 somehow to the Giants that year. That Giants team that had no business winning the Super Bowl and somehow just ground all these great offensive teams down to a fucking nub. It was great.
They've done that before, James. They've done it several times.
That was the game that broke Joe Montana. They did it to the. They did it to the Patriots. They did it to the Niners. That's what they do. It's fucking awesome. I do enjoy that.
It's the best team.
It's so
for
great.
That.
They will. They'll really just go, how the fuck did that happen once in a while? But this is the
New York Jets do it one game a season against a team they have no business beating, just in the season, regular season.
They've done it They've done it when it counted once in a century. It's been, it's literally been like almost 60 years. It's been 55 years since that happened. So it's been a while.
He was hip hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from Law and Crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a micro-city built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
It's been a bit of a stretch for them on that.
But
one.
every season, the Jets will get some team that they have no business beating, like terribly, just in the regular season. Then they won't make the playoffs. But the Giants will have a mediocre ass season, and then for no reason at all, have an unbelievable playoffs.
The Giants actually, during the season, I think they were 13-3 that year. They were a very good team. Right? When the Niners and Giants met on Monday Night Football, I think it was the 11th game. They were both 10-0 coming in, I want to say.
Oh, shit.
And the Niners won the game 7-3. I remember watching it. Wow. It was a slog of a game. Phil Simms got in a fight with Ronnie Lott at the end of the game. I remember that. That was great. Yeah. But this game is the game where Montana did his little, there goes Lawrence Taylor, I'll stop. And then Leonard Marshall drilled him in the back with all 300 pounds of him and broke every bone in his body. And he was out for 2 years. He just broke him in pieces. He was destroyed. His neck, his wrist, his shoulder, his back. He had like 14 injuries. It took him 2 years to come back. It was a disgrace. I loved it. I remember my father screaming and yelling, going, yes, as they showed Joe Montana with big hunks of dirt in his helmet. Well, he just was trying to lift his head, and he had huge chunks of turf. So I remember Steve Young, when he came out, he picked the turf out of his helmet because he looked like he couldn't even pick the turf out of his helmet, Montana. He was so fucked up. And I loved it at the time.
Shipped him off to Kansas City.
And he went to Kansas City, where he was good. But
he was good, yeah.
Curse of Kansas City at the time, not going to happen. They've overcome that lately. So that year, they lose in the NFC Championship game anyway that year. So, oh, boy. Romo here, what does he do? He starts all 16 games this year, has one sack, and that's his only stat, 79 tackles. So not bad, but I mean, it's his first year starting, and the NFL is tough. 91, they go 10-6 that year and miss the playoffs. That was one of those years where 10-6 wouldn't get you in. That year, I believe this is the first year. Yeah, Steve Young started this year for the first time. And Romanowski we don't know where exactly this is from here, but between Ian and myself, our best guess is right here. So Romanowski one time says he threw a microwave at a teammate.
A whole microwave?
A whole microwave.
Picked
Not
it
a
up
hot
and
pocket.
lobbed it across the room?
The whole thing, yeah. The guy said, will you get that for me? He said, yeah, sure. And he just...
My lasagna's done.
Yeah, please. I got some mac and cheese in there that I'm heating up from last night. He said, quote, I got in a lot of fights out on the field in training camp, but I never got... then he said, well, I take that back. I got in one in our lunchroom with Dexter Carter. Remember him, running back? I remember him.
No.
But it was a quick one, or was he a corner? Can't remember. And nobody got hurt. I just threw a microwave at him.
That's all I did. No big deal.
He said they were both with the 49ers. They were at the facility. It had an old microwave that worked pretty well until you tried to put another sandwich in it. It would take about 10 minutes to heat both up at the same time. So it's a one fucking item
one-man show.
Microwave. Yeah. Carter put his sandwich in with Romanowski's anyway. Well, obviously you're going to have to beat him silly. I guarantee you Romanowski outweighs him by at least 40 pounds, by the way. Dexter Carter wasn't a huge guy. So right away
it's some short fuse shit.
You put a sandwich in my microwave? I'm going to kill you. Think about that.
Yeah.
What could cause a person to go off like that? What could it be? There's
a lot of things. There's a lot of life stresses, James.
What is it though? But I'm thinking something. You know what? Maybe it'll come up later. We don't know.
It'll come to you.
What could make a person rage over such a small thing? Very weird. So Romanowski, I guess. He told him to take it out. Romanowski said, take your sandwich out of there. Carter didn't take it out. So Romanowski took it out. Then they argued back and forth about a sandwich. Meanwhile, they argued for long enough where both sandwiches could have cooked individually.
The amount of time we spent talking about this, we could both be eating now. Instead, now we're both bleeding.
Well, instead, Romanowski decided that I'll just throw this microwave at him. So throwing the microwave at him, you think that's a pretty good signal? Never, I guess, to put your sandwich in the microwave again when I'm around. Like I don't know, whatever that would be. I guess,
or at least when I'm using it.
When I'm using it, it's my microwave.
Yeah.
Then by the way, Dexter Carter's 5'9".
Yeah,
he's 5'9". He's a running back, and this guy is a fucking 6'4", jacked up linebacker. So he grabs him.
Perfectly fair fight.
Totally fair fight. These two, you'd go, they go together in a boxing ring. This would be sanctioned.
WBC would put them together. Yeah.
Totally. Absolutely. So he then grabs him by the neck and pins him up against a vending machine as well and tells him, never again. Never again. Two things are going to be never again. The Holocaust and you putting a sandwich in my microwave, because those are of equal intensity to me. Just so you know. Never again.
They both have as many victims.
Wow. Yeah. There's a lot of sandwich microwave victims out there. My sandwich wasn't all the way hot in the middle. Rah! I'm in a rage. So your grandparents were murdered? Guess what?
I think Latimer from the program was based on him. It had to be.
There's a lot of guys like him, though. That's the thing. There's a lot. This is a stereotype.
Right.
The dumb, fucking overly aggressive, jacked up middle linebacker or linebacker of any kind is the stereotype of football. Like it lives a stereotype. It's like he thinks
his head through windows.
Yeah, it's like he thinks this is what he should act like. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I should fucking throw microwaves at people.
That's what we do.
This is what we do. So this year starts all 16 games again, 92. One forced fumble, one fumble recovery, has 80 tackles and a sack. So holds the line pretty well here. 1993, he gets married.
Really?
Yeah, irresistible to somebody. Just catnip to Julie Legrand is her name, the woman who will later end up, I believe she's the one who ends up facing charges with him as well here.
Really?
So they'll end up having 2 children together. Neither of them juniors, helpfully.
Okay,
so that's
terrific.
good. They're a boy and a girl, looks like they had here. So 1993, they go 10-6, the 49ers. They lose in the championship game to the Cowboys. I remember that too. Yeah, that kind of put a damper on their thing. They did kick the shit out of the Giants 44-3 in the divisional championship, though.
Just to remind them.
An absolute pummeling. Yeah, the Giants were terrible. They shouldn't even have been. I don't even know how they made the playoffs that year. That was a disgrace. They sucked. So they deserved that. They deserved it. They fucking deserved it. So 1993 for him. He plays, again, starts all 16 games. So far, he's been a starter for 4 years. He's played every goddamn game, started every game. 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 104 tackles, and 3 sacks.
Wow.
That's a lot. Triple-digit tackles is a lot. He's doing a lot here. So when the season ends, though, he is not re-signed by San Francisco.
They didn't Really?
No, I think it's because he threw a microwave and choked a fucking running back, probably.
Possibly a locker room cancer.
Well, do you want to give a guy, because if you give a guy a big contract now he has leverage too.
Right.
Now he's got do you want this guy with more of an attitude roaming around your locker room? I mean...
Yeah, you've got difficulty getting rid of him with the big contract because he's got that leverage. And then you've also told the rest of the team, that he's more important than you and he throws microwaves.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really a tough fit.
Yeah.
But where will he fit in? Where does the microwave throwing culture fit in perfectly?
They go further in thin air, James.
No, Philadelphia.
Did he go to Philly
He goes
first?
to Philly. They sign him because they're like, we're looking for a good microwave throwing kind of guy. That's what we're looking, because these Eagles, it's not the Buddy Ryan Eagles anymore because he had left, and now it's Rich Kotite, who's a complete fucking duh.
Yeah, Buddy Ryan's in Arizona this time, isn't he? Or Houston.
He went. I think
Arizona. Yeah.
Arizona. I think he's fired by now, though. I think he's fired by 94.
That was quick.
Remember the billboards with Buddy Ball is coming and all this? Ooh, we're going to go 8-8 now. Great. Fuck out of here.
Fantastic. This is fucking grain silo looking motherfucker.
Oh, God. Fucking Buddy Ryan. So
Terrible.
Philly had this culture of football up till this point, up till the Rich Kotite era, of like Andre Waters, bounties, taking cheap shots at kickers and shit.
Blasting people.
Yeah, there was a cheap shot artist guy. So they're like, well, this guy will try to strangle a tiny running back, a running back who's barely bigger than Jimmie Whisman. He's going to try to strangle him. So that's not right. So Philly's like, perfect, we need him. So 7-9, he goes to a 7-9 Philly team coached by fucking Rich Kotite. Ugh, not a wonderful.
Did he play in Philly?
Not long here because he was in Denver pretty quick. Yeah. So this is Randall Cunningham started 14 games. They had Bubby Brister as their backup.
Is that right? Bubby Brister played with Bill on 2 teams.
Yes. They did have Mark Bavaro, who I fucking is one of my favorite players of all time on that team. So, but, I think we're still Reggie White on this team. He didn't go. I don't think he left yet, right?
Yeah.
He didn't go to.
He didn't go to Green Bay yet?
Oh, was this the year he went to Green Bay? This might have been
Maybe.
the year he went to Green Bay. I don't remember. Herschel Walker was on this Phillies team. Do you remember Herschel Walker on the fucking Eagles very much?
Yeah.
I've not through this late though.
I don't know.
90. I didn't think it was this late.
Where else did he go? Atlanta? Where did he go?
I just didn't think it was this late. I just didn't think it was.
Was it Atlanta that he went to? I don't remember. I just know that he was played for the Eagles. That's the only team
I know he
remember
sucked after about 1989. It didn't matter anymore. So
that might be when he started forgetting what play was called in the huddle a minute ago.
He was mediocre. Oh, that's right. They had Herschel Walker, and they'd have the other guy. The fucking was it?
Waters.
They'd have Byers. No, I'm thinking of their backfield.
Oh, Byers.
They had guys like that. Keith Byers, I think, around that time, shit like that. So anyway, Bill here starts 15 out of the 16 games, has 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, 2.5 sacks, and 66 tackles.
Okay.
Does pretty well.
Yeah.
95 Philly, Ray Rhodes comes in as coach because no one's going to keep Rich Kotite for very long. They go 10-6 this year. Go to the playoffs in the divisional round. This was, I actually watched this game, I remember as a kid.
Giants?
No, they played the Lions, but I remember what a high score, 58-37.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a great game.
Yeah, you had Randall Cunningham running around. You had Barry Sanders in that game.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of cool guys of the era in that game. Then they lose 30-11 to the Cowboys, who were in the middle of a dynasty at that point. So the tail end of a dynasty, I should say.
Right.
This was their last season of winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah, against Pittsburgh that year. So he starts all 16 games, Romanowski. So far in 6 years, he's missed starting 1 game.
Wow.
So, yeah, not too bad. 2 interceptions. He has 1 fumble recovery, 1 sack, 63 tackles.
Okay.
So he's doing very well. September 1995, and this is, by the way, I believe why he missed a game the 1 year. He is fined $4,500 for kicking Larry Centers in the head 5 times.
I mean, 1 you can understand.
Yeah. Well, Larry Centers punched him in the head.
Okay.
Larry Centers, by the way, is an Arizona Cardinal fullback.
Wide
Who's
receiver.
Fullback who caught a lot of passes.
Oh, yeah.
He had, I think he set the record at the time for most running back catches or something. Yeah, he would catch 100 balls a year out of the backfield.
Unbelievable.
He was a really underrated player, Larry Centers, for terrible Arizona teams. Is why. Who knew?
Wasted his talent in the desert.
They had bad quarterbacks with terrible arms that couldn't go downfield and terrible offensive lines, so he would come out and he'd dump it off to him, and then he could fucking run and get something. He probably saved a lot of quarterbacks a lot of concussions over the years, just having an outlet to dump it to. So Romanowski said, quote, "He took a swing on me and I retaliated. It should have never happened. I have to learn to control my emotions better." Damn it, if there was only something that he could stop doing that would help him.
A man swung on me, and I stomped his head 5 times.
On a football field. He said he grabbed my face mask, then punched me in the face. I went after him and stepped on him. I've never been thrown out before, and it was my fault. I have no one to blame but myself.
5 times.
5 times. You can't stomp people in football. No. You have spikes on. Someone punching you in your guarded, helmeted head is not the same as getting stomped with cleats. It's just not the same.
It's not equivalent.
It's dumb. And plus, the guy who hit you is also much smaller than you also. Yeah. That's the other problem. So,
look like a coward.
1996, February 23rd, Bill Romanowski signs with the Denver Broncos.
Wow, it was 96.
It was 96 he came in. Yeah, that late. So when did he come in? Right when they were about to start winning Super Bowls. He's a very lucky guy. That's what I mean.
Stick around 2 years and you're about to have a nice day.
Good run here. A couple of nice ring years. Yeah. So 96, they're 13-3 in 96, the Broncos. Yeah. And this was the year they lost. I remember this was a big disappointment for them to the expansion Jaguars in their second year of existence in the playoffs there. That was a shame. John Elway's quarterback. You got your Steve Atwaters and your guys like that. This is a goddamn good team. Yeah, Terrell Davis came in here. And Romanowski. Oh, wow, Michael Dean Perry. Forgot that he went from the Browns over there.
Oh.
Forgot all about him. So this year starts all 16 games.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. 3 interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, ball hawking, 3 sacks, and 77 tackles. He came to life.
Jesus.
Yeah, came right to life here. So good year for him. 1997 Broncos. 12-4 they go.
Not bad.
Badass. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 42-17 in the wild card round, beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Bet you'd like to hear that again in the playoffs.
All day.
14-10, then beat the Steelers. I remember this was a good game, 24-21.
Yeah.
And then beat the Packers, who were the returning Super Bowl champions, 31-24 that year too. So this was their big Super Bowl year, and
that was the last of Brett Favre ever winning a Super Bowl ever again. It was over for him.
That was it. Yeah, no more after that. So very good team, obviously, and obviously he's going to have problems here.
Yeah.
I guess during the preseason that year, talk a little bit about that. He knocked Kerry Collins out of a game. Remember Kerry Collins? He was
playing for the Raiders.
Carolina.
Oh,
he's playing. That's where he was drafted.
He knocked him out of Carolina's game?
Knocked him out of Carolina's game here. Collins had just thrown a pass when Romanowski fucking blasted him from the blind side here. Romanowski's helmet hit Collins under the chin and, quote, appeared to rattle him. In other words, in today's parlance, concussed him and made him to where he should have left the game. Collins went to the locker room for treatment for a mouth injury, although the injury did not appear to be serious. So, yeah, he did that. So
mouth injury.
Mouth injury.
Not thinking about the brain at all.
Yep. Kerry Collins' jaw is actually broken in 2 places, and he's out for 6 weeks because Romanowski put his helmet in it. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's why you're not allowed to do that there.
Yeah.
And, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. They, went to the championship game the previous season. So, he was standing in the pocket, just standing there, and he blasted him. So it was not a good deal. So Collins underwent 4 hours of surgery where he had to have 2 plates inserted to stabilize the fracture on the left side of his jaw and 2 more to stabilize a break at the front of the jaw.
The man got 4 plates in his face.
He got 4 plates in his face. Yeah.
Wow.
So he is expected to be sidelined for 5 to 6 weeks, and then he's going to have a fucking jaw with plates in it. So Romanowski's fined $20,000 for the hit. It was a late hit and a cheap hit, so it was cheap in every regard. He said this is his playing philosophy. When they talked about this, he said, "quote It's about trying to make big hits, like when you hit someone so hard he doesn't get up. Those are the kind of hits you like."
Yeah, but when they're legal.
Yeah, that's the thing. When a running back comes through the hole and you got one-on-one on him, and you put it in his chest and you put your shoulder in his chest and blast him, great hit. When a quarterback throws the ball, he's now he doesn't have his guard up because you're not supposed to hit him. That's the point.
He doesn't have the ball.
Yeah, you're not supposed to hit him at that point. So he's not bracing, not guarding. Yeah. You just took a cheap shot on a prone person. That's all it is.
It's not
Good job.
Fair player.
Nice job, Bill. Yeah. Great guy. So Elway called the fine ridiculous.
John.
And they filed an appeal. Romanowski filed an appeal, which he lost. Yeah. He said he's considering another appeal and has the backing of Coach Shanahan. How about pay your fine? You hit a guy in the fucking jaw, you moron.
Coach, don't do this.
He said that when the fine was announced, it will not affect the way he plays. That's it. And he said then he issued what sounded like a threat to Kerry Collins regarding an upcoming game they have with the Panthers. Quote, maybe I'll hit him harder next time. You never know. So he's trying to make, Kerry Collins shaking his boots there. Kerry Collins looked like he was too dumb to be scared of anything. You ever look at his face? He looked like he was just going, duh. Like, always. Just a dial tone of duh. Duh. The Panthers were really pissed off about it. Wesley Walls, the wide receiver who caught the pass, after he was hit there, he called it a cheap hit. And the center, Frank Garcia, on the Panthers, hinted at revenge, saying, well, we play those guys again, so maybe we'll be able to do something about it. So, maybe, because you can get shot blocked real easy. You can get lots of shit like that where if offensive linemen have it in for you, they can conspire against you.
Fuck yeah. And if there's something tackled behind you and you're not looking and somebody just shoves you, you can end somebody's career.
It's happened a lot.
Fuck yeah. Blow somebody's knee up. It's over.
It's just a penalty. We'll take 15. Fuck it.
Fuck yeah.
Bye. Bye, dickhead.
He won't be back.
That's right. Different. So Romanowski said he pretended to forget about it. He said, what's his number? Number 12? He's just a guy with a football uniform and a number 12 on it. He's a good football player, but I've got to be worried about taking care of my responsibilities and nothing else. What happened in the preseason's over and done with. And Kerry Collins said, to be honest, I never really had a problem with his intent. He didn't come in there to hurt me or break my jaw. I know that. Well, he enjoyed it, I'm sure. The thing to remember is it was a perfect hit. I was turning into him at the perfect time, and he caught me with his head in the perfect way. Yeah, it would still be he'd have been suspended for that hit now.
Yeah.
Easy.
The fine would be bigger than $20,000 too.
And he would be suspended. Yeah, a helmet on jaw hit on a quarterback, you're out. So Romanowski was blitzing from the left, and Collins never saw him coming, and that was a full-speed helmet first fucking jaw shot. So Collins said, we all have to play by the rules, and when it happens like that, it's punishable by a fine. He said, but it's over with. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing personal. I don't hold it against him. And Romanowski, 4 plates. Romanowski said, I've put some good hits on people, but that one kind of hit the limelight because of him being a quarterback and hurting him the way he did. It got a lot of attention, but you guys in the media controlled that. Well, he's a starting quarterback that's out now for 6 weeks, so they have to talk about that.
Fantasy football, Bill.
I fucking love when people do dumb shit and it gets publicized and they go, people in the media. Yeah, there is a lot of the media that sucks, and trust us, we make fun of the media fucking constantly, as much as we make fun of athletes or coaches or the owners or anybody. They're all in it together. That's the thing. Yeah. This is all one big finger fucking under the table. Everybody, they all need each other. The media needs these guys, and these guys, without the media, they're not much of a fucking business either. So everybody finger fucks each other. But when people do dumb shit and then go, well, the media... Don't blame people for telling others about the dumb shit you did. And that goes for every walk of life, not just sports. I hear it all the time from people. The media. If you say the words the media, automatically it's like, oh, well, it's not as believable now. Well, guess what? Stop doing that.
I roll my eyes so hard when people say "fuck" those 2 words together.
I'm like, fucking hate it.
They write the story. That's
yeah.
But they didn't make it up, you dummy.
And when you have 15 tackles in a game, they write fucking 5 paragraphs on that, and you go, look at that. Yeah, I'm great, aren't I?
But
they don't know what they're talking about when it's bad.
The media said it, though.
Yeah. Oh, well, it can't be right then. It's just the media trying to sell papers.
7 tackles.
Yeah. It's mutually beneficial. You did dumb shit. When they talk about it, people buy it, and that's how it works.
But people are going to question with the rise of fantasy football, why the fuck my starting quarterback of Kerry Collins scored me 0 fucking points?
Yeah. Why do I have to go to my backup now?
Right.
Exactly. What is up with that? Why does Bubby Brister? Why is Neil O'Donnell have to be my starting quarterback?
And why are the fucking Panthers going to their reserve quarterback?
Yes. Why is Steve Berline in there right now?
Right. Why do my wide receivers that also play for Carolina score me 0 fucking points?
Yeah. Why is Ray Caruth not producing for me?
Because Berline can't hit him.
Yep. That's how it goes. God damn it, Romanowski. But it's the media.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm the big worst. I hate clickbait and shit like that. And that's fine. And, people trying to do stuff. But when something happens that actually, it's some things are just like, wow, that's a big story. And it benefits the media to get people to click on it. But also, they're also right. It also happened. So it's, that also, I mean, they sold a lot of papers when the Titanic went down. The media didn't sink it. You know what I mean? Just happened to be
Today
that they
put 4 plates in Kerry Collins' face.
They did. That son of a bitches. Son of the fucking AP. How dare they?
Their fucking green sports section.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's your bullshit color. We don't need Color USA today. It's a newspaper. December 17th, 1997. Here. This is a fun incident. This is when Bill Romanowski spits at J.J. Stokes on the field.
Really?
Spits in his face. Wide receiver for the 49ers. For the 49ers.
He's playing for the Niners then,
Yeah, that's how he got drafted by. The Niners. So, spits in his face, which is the third rail in sports. Yeah. That's that you can't do that. You'll see guys jaw at each other, punch each other, do all that's acceptable. Spitting in someone's face is not. It's a pussy move.
I think post 8 years old, spitting on somebody is the most. I'll fucking stab you.
It gets you punched, and everyone goes, "Oh man, he should beat the shit out of him for that." That's what I mean. Everyone is on the spitty side. They're like, "Oh, that guy got spit on. He's gonna fuck him up now." So no one's on a spitter's side because it's a pussy move. It's just a pussy move, especially between two grown men jawing. Right. If you're close enough to spit on him, you're close enough to punch him. So punch him if you got that big of a problem.
Throw some hands, you fucking coward.
So Stokes said he became angry when Romanowski grabbed him in the groin during a pileup. This is what Romanowski would do, too. He's a piece of shit that whenever there's a pileup, he'd grab people's nutsacks and dicks. He'd choke people and shit like that. He'd fucking physically strangle them.
Right. And he'd spit in faces in piles, too.
That's what I mean. He's a piece of garbage. Yeah. He thinks he's being fucking Dick Butkus because Butkus was famous for he'd spit on the center's hand when he's got the ball trying to get him to fucking false start.
That's pretty funny.
But Butkus didn't need to do that.
Right.
Romanowski, I feel like, needs this sort of thing. Butkus, he was terrifying anyway. He's one of the best players in the fucking league. Romanowski's not that level of good. He's just not.
And he's a linebacker, so he's not even close to like that part of the action. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, that's what Butkus was too. But Butkus was a middle linebaker, and he would get over.
He'd
stand over the center. He'd spit on his he'd spit on his hands to piss him off, to try to make him move.
Wipe it off, yeah.
So he'd false start, So otherwise, you got to sit there with your spit on you. So Bill said, "I spit in his face just out of frustration. That's the way it goes out there. I can't control myself at all." Is what that says. I'm not good at controlling myself.
That's the way it goes out there?
That's the way it goes out there, yeah. He's fined $7,500 for that, by the way.
Yeah.
And, also, let's see. Oh, there's a comparison because the Chargers' strong safety, Rodney Harrison, hit Andre Rison and was fined $10,000 on the same day. Uh-huh. Harrison said it's ridiculous. He said, quote, "It's ridiculous." See how he thinks it's ridiculous?
He said it's ridiculous.
He said, quote, "It's ridiculous. If you can be fined $10,000 for hitting somebody, then you let a guy get away with spitting in someone's face, that's absolutely degrading. I mean, that's the lowest possible thing you could probably do to a person, and you only fine him $7,500? That's not right, in my opinion." He's like, at least I did a football play.
He's got a point.
I agree with him. I fucking agree with him. There's no place for spitting on the field. A cheap hit happens. A late hit happens. That's at least part of the game. Spitting is not part of the game. It's just a fucking little...
4 plates in somebody's fucking face doesn't just happen, though.
That, too. Now, Shanahan says his team remains united. Doesn't matter here because Romanowski, they made a thing about it because Shannon Sharp at the time and Willie Green both argued that Romanowski wasn't punished harshly enough here. So they're on his team.
Shannon Sharp said that.
Yeah, he said he wasn't sure because they took it as a racial thing because he spit in Stokes' face.
Spit in a black guy's face.
Yeah, and later on we'll talk about it, but he'll say some shit to Cam Newton that's not really cool on social media.
Really?
So he uses a word that you don't say to a grown black man.
The B word?
We'll put it that. It's not a word. It's not a bad word, but it's just dumb. I didn't want to give it away. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't. Thank you, though. Never mind.
All right.
It's not a word you can't say. It's just a word you don't call somebody on a fucking, unless you want to get punched in the mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Shanahan said he respects Shannon Sharp and Green for expressing their views. He said, quote, I think they spoke their mind and they spoke the truth. They made it known Bill Romanowski is not a racist. They did say that. They didn't call him a racist. Right. In fact, they were very, very supportive of Bill, even though they were not very happy with what was done. So they thought he should have been punished more harshly, though. So that year, though, he starts all 16 games. Doesn't affect him on the field.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
He has 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 2 sacks, 70 tackles. Yeah. Not bad. And Denver wins the Super Bowl, as we said. Yeah. They cut through everybody, beating the Packers there, and
who were in it for the second time. They're
second
about to go
time
back
in a
to
row.
Back.
Yeah, everybody thought that. January 1998, that year here in the playoffs this year, the Broncos won 24-21 against the Steelers. He was yelling at Cordell Stewart as well. That was a thing here. Yeah. Cordell Stewart ended up having 303 passing yards and 3 touchdowns earlier in the year. But in the playoff game, they were talking shit about it. And I guess, he didn't have a good game too, Cordell, which in a championship game, things are a lot tighter.
Yeah.
And Bill Romanowski, I guess, quote, began banging his helmet and yelling at Stewart in open ridicule of Stewart's worst mistake of a long afternoon. Romanowski ran into the face of Cordell Stewart, comically bashing himself in the head after Stewart threw his 3rd interception.
Calling him stupid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Romanowski said, quote, I was just telling him he wasn't very smart. I was just trying to get him riled. I was trying to get in his head. Yeah. Calling him stupid by hitting myself in the head.
Yeah.
With a helmet.
You're dumb, huh? You're dumb.
Look, I'm going to concuss myself. Look how stupid you are. Whenever he throws a pick, you're in his face saying, you're just awful. You're terrible. You're out here throwing the ball. Try to rattle his cage a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said, we wanted to make them beat us with him throwing the ball. We knew he couldn't have the game he had last time. This time, the real him came out. We flustered him, and he threw balls up for grabs.
Either that or we've seen all their gadget plays, and now they actually have to play actual football because at that point, Slash had been exposed. It was very easy to beat him now.
That's the thing. Yeah, he was plus championship games, everything's different.
Yeah.
The Niners were blowing everybody out that year, and then the Giants 15-13 they lost.
Right.
I mean, it's just they get tighter at that point.
Sure.
May 25th, 1998, there's a Sports Illustrated article about him. It says, quote, taking his medicine. Broncos loopy linebacker Bill Romanowski pops a plethora of pills and powders to keep his minerals in balance. Too bad they don't do the same for his temper. That's the article.
What a story.
Yeah, here's quotes from Romanowski. Zinc is our most anabolic mineral. Don't say the word anabolic, you fucking idiot. He said he takes 25 milligrams of it along with 400 milligrams of magnesium each night. And he says if your zinc levels are low, you'll have low levels of testosterone. He's trying to explain that all of the steroid results he gets are from taking zinc at night.
Zinc
is what he's telling the country.
Yeah.
I'm not on steroids. I just do zinc, and then it has results like steroids. That's literally what he said. You'll have low levels of testosterone. You want to jack your testosterone, take a bunch of zinc.
You got to have a lot of it so you snort the zinc.
Yeah, you got to have a ton of zinc, enough to where you smash shit into your head while you're saying something because the other guy's dumb. That level of zinc. He said that he gave SI, Sports Illustrated, a scoop of it, and he said 70% of pro athletes are deficient in zinc. And then he said, obviously with testosterone too there, because it's low zinc. He said, I get my blood and urine tested every 3 months. I want to make sure my minerals are in balance.
My minerals.
Wow, that is wild. One of the guards on the team, David Diaz-Infante, I remember that guy, he said, Romo got so geeked up on game days, you can't even talk to him.
Oh.
Zinc.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, go take a bunch of zinc and see if you're so crazy that no one can talk to you and your testosterone's going through the roof. Please, everyone.
Just take a Centrum. It's got zinc in it.
You're going to fucking be going hitting people under the chin, spitting in black guys' faces. Fucking no one will be able to talk to you and your family because you're too geeked up. That's
Centrum.
Zinc, baby.
A to zinc.
Oof, A to zinc.
It'll get you going.
Take 2. I think he's taking 2 worth, right? Take 2 Centrums.
Put Gem one up your ass, snort one, and then take one.
You know what? 3 Centrums. 3 Centrums. You got to snort one for the extra effect. Then you take this. You swallow one. Then the ass one's going to seep into your system over time. It's a time releaser.
Release.
It's a time releaser. Just at game time, you're going to pop. You're going to pop. Centrum rectum, it's called. Centrum
CR, where the R stands for rectum.
The R stands for rectum. Wow. So
controlled rectum.
The article goes on to say, quote, he ingests more powders and pills than Jerry Garcia in his prime. That's a great line.
That's not a positive advertisement.
Oh, no, they don't think this is supposed to be. And he employs not only a high-performance coach, but also a nutritionist, a biomechanics guru, and a massage therapist.
Wow.
Romanowski's known to spend upwards of $100,000 a year on vitamins, minerals, nutritional supplements, and special training. So Romanowski's known to waste $100,000 a year on horse shit.
Yeah.
Are the roids included in that?
I doubt it.
That's what I'm wondering.
That's a GNC fucking. They saw him coming.
I'll take it all.
Yeah.
I mean, the training, fine. A special coach for a performance coach. A lot of guys do that for
That's
specialized training.
There.
Yeah, specialized just for explosiveness. There's certain exercises. Like, there are a lot of people do that.
Speed and agility training. Fuck yeah.
That's investing in yourself. This is crazy on vitamins and shit. Well, they say LeBron James spends over $1 million a year on health shit and food and stuff like that.
He probably does just for the write-off because it's fun.
He has to. He makes so much fucking money. He needs to spend that much money.
It's got to go away.
He probably has a chef that he pays $500,000 a year just because he needs to pay somebody something.
Yeah.
He also experiments with treatments such as hyperbaric chambers and deep tissue massage.
He's doing all that crazy shit.
Yeah, he's doing. Well, I think this is like, don't look over here, look over. Yeah. I'm just taking all these. If you add up all these supplements and all these vitamins, they equal the same effect as if I injected myself with fucking whatever he's doing.
And the same byproduct of it in my urine is the same thing that happens when you piss steroids.
That's all. You know how it works. He said about the spitting, and here's the article, to set the stage for Spitgate, Denver had just suffered a humiliating defeat at the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Romanowski had made only 2 tackles in the game. Up on the next Monday Night Football, I don't know why it was like that, were the 49ers who had traded away Romo 4 years earlier. He said, I couldn't wait to play him, says Romanowski, an Olympic-class grudge-bearer who 9 years after having been selected by the Niners in the 3rd round of the draft was still going out of his way, a fist in the larynx here, a knee in the lumbar region there, to punish teams that had chosen a linebacker ahead of him.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah, he was a little excited about that Monday Nighter, which would turn out to be another Broncos loss. Niners quarterback Steve Young got the message in the 3rd quarter when Romo hit him after the whistle and was flagged for unnecessary roughness. Then, 3 plays later, there was poor Stokes woofing at Romanowski after the two emerged from a pileup, whereupon Stokes got flush in the face. The next days were dark times for the Romanowskis. A Denver newspaper columnist wondered what kind of example Bill was setting for his children. Dalton, who was then 3, and Alexandra, 8 months. Well, the baby doesn't know what the hell you just did.
I don't think Alexandra
and never will
gives
know.
a shit.
And the kid doesn't know either. Dalton, 3 is not old enough to know. Bill said, I just felt bad for my mom and dad, my wife, my brothers and sisters, to cause them all this embarrassment. I felt bad for Bill, says Julie, Romo's wife of 5 years. When you love somebody, you want to protect him. To see him hurting and not be able to fix it was difficult for me. Romanowski, yeah.
That's when you want to suck back in your mouth. But I hate when they call things gate now. They've got spit gate. It's on TV, man. We saw it happen. There's no conspiracy. You spit in somebody's fucking face.
It's just when something's a big deal, it's gate.
Right.
It's
stop it.
Fucking blame Richard Nixon for that shit.
Spit gate.
If you need more reasons to hate Richard Nixon, you can blame him for that.
It's a fucking conspiracy, man.
Yeah.
It fucking happened.
It happened. So Romanowski downplayed the incident for about 24 hours while Watergate 2 happened. So it's
yeah, but it was a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Well,
they put it on anything though, because anything, whether it happened or not, if it's a story, it's a gate.
If there's a side to have on either,
it's just a big deal. It's a gate.
But why is there a side to have on somebody spitting in somebody's fucking face?
Because this is America, Jimmy. That's why. What do you think? People just look at things logically and go, well, this is obviously the right thing to do? No. Absolutely not. You have people who are contrary cunts who go, well, you spit in his face. Yeah, but so what? Sometimes they have to take the other side because they're assholes.
You don't know what he said. Who cares what he said? He spit in his fucking face.
And then fucking 20 years later, you have Twitter. And that's what I mean. That's what Twitter, this is where it came from.
Yeah.
That's why you have it. People just, well, I'll just take that side no matter how stupid it is.
Yeah.
Click, there you go. Duh. Look at me. That's fucking America, everybody. Yeah. Duh, I hit the button. I hate the button. I'm an independent thinker because I said the dumb thing. Shut the fuck up. Stupid fucking idiots. I swear to God.
Put it on there. I did it.
I did. Look at me. I'm important. I did it. I'm so fucking tired of people and their fucking dumbness.
It's exhausting.
I'm so tired of it. I'm so sick of just going, what side of an obvious fucking issue are you on? Oh, good. Great. Oh, you found a way to... Okay, great. I can't anymore.
It's an identity.
It's fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
And it's happened.
It's embarrassing.
It's getting worse and worse, too. That's the problem. I can't take it anymore.
Fascinating that it's not embarrassing to the people that it should be embarrassing.
Because you used to, now you can put it on social media and you can find a bunch of like-minded dipshits who all want to be morons together and they pump up each other's stuff. It used to be, you'd have to, in 1997, you had to go to work and stand next to a bunch of other guys and say that and have them go, what are you, fucking stupid?
What the fuck's wrong with you?
Because that's what they'd say. What are you, fucking stupid? Because no one else there was stupid. Now you have to reach all across the world to find 25 people as dumb as you to fucking agree with you. It's fucking insane.
I got 11 guys in Canada think I'm right.
I got that, and then that guy got mad, so I win. What are you talking about?
I know 11 guys I don't know.
11 guys I don't know, and then another guy I don't know got mad. So I win. What is happening?
Ah, Christ.
Everyone who thinks that's good, hit yourself in the head with a football helmet as many times as you can, please.
Go into your kitchen, grab the biggest, heaviest fucking pan, and bash away until your head is soft.
I assure you can't get any dumber. I fucking assure you right now.
It won't hurt anybody else, I promise.
And if you're going, well, that's you we're talking to. If you did I'm talking to you. So's Jimmie. Grab the big one, the cast iron shit your grandfather gave you and told you not to wash ever. Crack your fucking skull.
Put oil on it.
Yeah, just put oil on it and let it burn up. Crack your fucking skull till it feels like a hard-boiled egg that's been dropped. That's what I would like. Oh, are those broken skull pieces?
Stop now? Two more whacks, motherfucker.
2 more. When you stop being able to count to 2, that's when you're done. That's when you're finished. When you go, is that 1 or 2? Yeah. Finished. Perfect.
When you heard crunches 5 whacks ago, that's when you stop.
Now go get on Twitter and say something stupid after you've done doing that. You'll find people
Twitter.
Agree with you. Yeah. It is the one now. I changed the letter now. I don't know what it is.
The stupidity.
Yeah, that's what we do anyway. We got way off the subject. Sorry about that. But you know what? I'm not sorry because fuck this shit. Yeah, tired of stupid people. So he downplayed the incident for the first 24 hours, telling reporters it was just something that happens, quote, in the heat of battle. Soon enough, he realized the response wasn't going to cut it, and Wednesday morning he issued an apology. On the day Romanowski issued his apology, Broncos players and coaches met for 45 minutes to discuss the spitting incident. See, they discussed it because people were pissed off at him for doing that, and they all had to figure out how can we all come out with one statement, basically.
Right.
Oh, Shannon Sharp's mad, but he doesn't think he's a racist. That's the deal. Okay, great. You know what I mean?
45 minutes to come to an agreement on what we have to say about this?
Of what we're all going to publicly say about this, basically, because they're a good team, and they're not going to have one guy saying, fuck Romanowski, he's a racist, another guy going, I kind of think it was a good thing that he did. So, they're not going to have that.
We're about to be champions. And then, at the end of the season, they're defending champions.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
And I don't know if Romanowski's a fucking racist or not. I know.
I don't know the fucking
No
guy.
idea. I'm not saying he is or he isn't. I'm just saying
Doesn't look like he's not.
When you spit in a black guy's face, it doesn't look great for you. Right. You know what I mean? So it doesn't look wonderful. I mean, you've never spit in a white guy's face. It's just one of those. So I could see where, even if you're not racist at all, I could see where people might go, hey, that seems like you took a little different tact there. Yeah. So, you got to understand that.
In a pile, he's probably spit on a lot of white guys.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I mean. We don't know.
Right. You never stood up, squared off, and spit in a white guy's fucking grill.
Hey, you know how you avoid being questioned on that? Don't spit in people's fucking faces. That's what you can do.
Give you spit in your mouth.
Yeah. There's something for you. John Elway effectively put the matter to rest when he stood and said, this guy's done everything but get down on his knees. Let's put this behind us and go out and play some great football.
John.
The Broncos did. Having played themselves out of a first-round bye with the losses to the Steelers and Niners, they proceeded to run the table in the playoffs and finish their streak with a Super Bowl defeat of the Packers. Romo, singed by fallout from the Stokes incident, and this is Romanowski, not Tony Romo, kept his mouth shut and played football. The defensive coordinator said he's like the crafty catcher who's asking about your girlfriend as soon as you step into the batter's box.
Who said that?
The defensive coordinator, Greg Robinson. So,
how dare you?
Yeah, he's like the crafty catcher. Yeah.
Oh, you can't.
That's gamesmanship. That's gamesmanship.
Yeah.
This is not. Spitting isn't gamesmanship. So that's.
You don't equate it to fucking the Porky Kid from Sandlot asking about what color your girlfriend's underwear are. That's not.
Yeah. Or Jake Taylor going, hey, what's up with you? I was at this club last night. It was great. Saw your wife there. She's a hell of a dancer, boy. Only thing I can't understand is why is that guy's panties on her head? And she pops it up. That's a catcher.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good, or whatever the fuck Bull Durham, Kevin Costner was saying to people. But
saying everything.
At the Super Bowl, Romo made a point of looking up fellow Boston College alumnus Mark Chmura, now the Packers Pro Bowl tight end, and telling him, quote, "You're the biggest idiot that ever came out of Boston College. I'm insulted that we could have gone to the same school." So Chmura's reaction, he said, "Romanowski, I'm going to kill you." Romo recalls with a grin, "That's when I knew I'd gotten in his head."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Julie says when a visitor compliments Dalton's vocabulary, quote, "Thank God he's got my brains." That's what his wife said. Thank God the kid's got my brains, because my husband's a fucking dummy.
When they compliment a toddler's vocabulary.
Yeah. Go, yeah, he's smarter than Bill, so.
He's already got a better handle on this language than his pop.
Wow. Sports Illustrated goes on to say, "She's kidding, we think," as was the former Boston College player who says, quote, "If Chmura's the dumbest guy to come through BC, it's because he beat Romo in a photo finish."
Oh.
That's not kidding. They're saying both of them are idiots.
Yeah, they're both dum-dums.
I went to college with them. They're both stupid. There you go. San Francisco Chronicle columnist Tim Keown wrote that without football, Romanowski would be, quote, "sitting on the steps of a trailer somewhere, whittling away and trying to figure out how his overalls got stuck in that tree. He'd be saving up for some naked lady mud flaps." Oh, my God, that is great. He'd be saving up for some naked lady mud flaps. Amazing.
Whittling.
He amuses teammates with his stories of life on the farm. One of his favorites, despite the fairly complex network of chutes and retractable gates through which the cows had to pass before milking, there was one cow, number 48, that was always first, said Romo. Listening to him tell the story, you realize that number 53 relates to 48. Like the cow, meaning him, he's number 53, not the two numbers relate to each other. Like the cow, he's determined to be first, regardless of whom he offends. When Jerry Rice came his way on a reverse during training camp in '89, Romo, then in his second season with the 49ers, fought off a block and he recalls with a grin, knocked the crap out of the future Hall of Fame wideout. That's what you want to do when your season depends on him being terrific. You want to try to hurt him. For this blatant breach of an unwritten rule, no one hits number 80 in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fucking hurt Jerry Rice, idiot.
He's our best player.
Yeah, Romanowski immediately found himself in a fist fight with the offensive line. Yeah, the whole line is going to fuck you up. We have rings because of that guy. We will kick your ass, you loser. When I take the practice field, I give it everything I have, he says. Well, you're on a team. He's not on the other team.
Right.
He's, 1,000 times more important than you. How's that?
And if you win the Super Bowl, they don't go, Bill Romanowski won the Super Bowl.
No.
They say the 49ers won the Super Bowl.
With Jerry Rice being the MVP of said game. Right. Half the time, as he was the year before. So
here's the thing, Bill.
That year, as a matter of fact, he was the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And when you win the Super Bowl, you win based on numbers and those numbers are on the board because of points, and linebackers rarely put them up.
Also, the fact that on that team, he was about as important. He could have switched places with the guy who holds the first down marker, and no one would have fucking noticed because he didn't play that much and he didn't matter. Literally, it didn't matter. Whereas Jerry Rice was literally the fucking centerpiece of the entire team. So You're an asshole, Romanowski. Anyway, 98 Broncos, they go 14-2.
Yeah,
Crush it that year.
Best they ever were.
They beat the living shit out of the Broncos, which are the Dolphins, who were the Jimmy Johnson coached Dolphins at the time.
Really?
Yes, 38-3 in the divisional round. Then beat the Jets. The Jets were in a conference championship then. Wow. The Jets, 97. Think about 98.
Who the hell? Testaverde?
Was that right after they got Testaverde, maybe?
It had to be, right?
It had to be.
Who the fuck else would have been?
They didn't have Chad Pennington yet, and he was terrible anyway. The end of
had to be Testaverde.
They had Neil O'Donnell for a while. I don't think that could have been. I don't know. They win in the Super Bowl against Atlanta. That was a really annoying Atlanta team, too, with their dancing and all that shit.
Yeah, they're fucking dirty.
Which is stupid because I love the Icky Shuffle, but then I'm like, this dance is terrible. It's just not. It felt so marketed, whereas Icky Woods just seems like a weird guy who was like, watch me do this dance. And they did a weird dance, whereas Jamal Anderson felt like he sat at home with like 3 choreographers and was like, what can I do like right after a touchdown? I need a signature move. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, left, right, up, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do that. So I just didn't like it.
And I play for the Falcons, so we got to do something with the chicken kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. The dirty bird.
Wiggle my arms.
It felt very like a marketing ploy to me. It felt like very what they would do now. It felt very
and then
gross.
They all did it.
It was gross. Yeah, I didn't like that very much. I'm just not a Falcons fan, so it was nice to watch the Broncos thump them.
My high school coach's kid played for the team, so it was fun to watch.
Good.
His son get the shit kicked out of him.
Take that.
Yeah.
So 1998, that year, he played in all 16 games, had 72 tackles, 7.5 sacks though, career high. Definitely a career high. Good for him.
In the season or in
the
whole
playoffs? Season? Okay. No, whole season. Yeah, no. 1999, the Broncos go 6-10 because John Elway retired.
Because he quit.
Yeah, that's that.
Bobby Brister.
Yep, that's how that goes. September 4, and then Greasy after that.
I think Bubby lasted just one season before. I don't even think he lasted the whole season. I think Greasy went in half of the season.
That's possible. That is possible. I don't remember the exacts of that because that was a really greasy time for them.
Yeah. For real.
September 4th, 1999. This is from the New York Times. Quote, Romanowski named in drug fraud case. Okay. Romanowski, a linebacker in his 12th professional season and 4th as a Bronco, was among 4 accused on Thursday by the Douglas, Colorado County Sheriff's Office and the United States Drug Enforcement Administration of illegally obtaining the appetite suppressant phetamine, which is, I think, fen, I believe is what that was, which they took it off the market because it would make your heart explode, I think, or some shit.
I think it also actually did appetite suppress to where people were like really getting sick.
Yeah, no, but they caused like all sorts because there's a big class action lawsuit against fen that you could have. They paid out billions because it did horrible things to people's organs. I think, if I'm not mistaken, could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. So, also accused, his wife Julie, 32, Dr. Randall L. Snook, 39, Loretta K. Johnson, 35. The Romanowskis, through their lawyers, denied the allegations. Romanowski said, quote, the only thing I can say is that I apologize to my teammates, my family, and to the fans. Okay. Authorities said that Romanowski's wife, Johnson, obtained the fraudulent prescriptions from Snook, then gave the drug to Romanowski. This drug here, which is not banned by the NFL, is frequently prescribed for severe obesity, but it's also a stimulant that can cause aggressiveness. You know, like getting coked up out there, but not having the balls to do coke like a fucking man.
Yeah. Doing fen.
You had your wife get you pills. What kind of a pussy are you? I'm sorry. At least Lawrence Taylor go out on the goddamn street and get some crack rocks like a fucking man. This guy goes out, hey, can you get me more of them pills that make me go-go? Can you get me more go-go pills so I can spit at people and be dumb?
Get me more anger pills.
Fucking,
those.
Can you get me more mad pills, please? I like those. They make me mad. They make me feel good. Some more gree pills? Get nice and angry. So he does that. The authorities said their 2-month investigation revealed that the alleged drug scheme occurred from last September through last month and that 8 fraudulent prescriptions involving the Romanowskis, Snook, and Johnson were filed. The spokesperson for the DEA said that the agency can look at order patterns. If something were out of normal bounds, that would raise a flag. There are all kinds of records. The NFL's drug policy states that prescription drugs cannot be abused and adds the use of amphetamines and substances that invoke similar effects absent a valid and legitimate need of the appropriate substance is prohibited. In other words, you can't use this shit.
Right.
Is what that says. No one has been arrested, but the sheriff's office is recommending to the district attorney's office in neighboring Arapahoe County that felony criminal charges be filed against all 4. Coach Mike Shanahan said, "I'm disappointed this came out without going through the DA first. I think once everybody takes a look at exactly what happened, from my perspective, that there won't be any charges."
Wait,
if everyone just looks at it like the guy who coaches the team that needs him on it, I think everything will be fine. If we all just look at we'd like the Broncos to have a good season, I think we can all put this past us, right? Come on.
If we all skip the law and we just start looking at it the way that Mike Shanahan wants things, then
common sense.
Mike, don't say shit like that.
I won 2 Super Bowls. I run Denver, is what he just said. Colorado should bow before me. How many Super Bowls did you fucking lose before I got here? Exactly.
Nobody will ever forget me.
Ugh. The possible criminal charges could include fraud, conspiracy, and unlawful use of a controlled substance against Romanowski. If convicted, Romanowski would face a maximum penalty of 3 years in prison and a $300,000 fine. They said the phentermine is one half of the fen weight loss drug cocktail.
There you go.
Yeah, the other half was banned, but the phentermine one is the one still available by prescription at that point. I don't know if it still is. I doubt it. I don't know, though. Yeah. So 1999, that year, 16 games, 16 started, 3 interceptions, 0 sacks this year. From 7.5 to 0, 73 tackles. He is fined, by the way, in 1999 during that season.
What was that hit?
$7,500 for an illegal hit on Tony Gonzalez, the longtime, the guy who retired like 2 years ago, even though he started playing in 1995. So, for that, also $10,000 for hit on Tampa Bay quarterback Trent Dilfer, helmet to helmet, and $10,000 for punching Gonzalez in the head, and $15,000 for a helmet to helmet shot at Fred Taylor, Jacksonville Jaguars running back.
Was that when Tony G was in Atlanta? He punched him?
This was when he was in Kansas City.
He was in Kansas City at the time?
First, forever. He was in Kansas City.
Wasn't he also in Atlanta first?
No, Kansas City for 15 years, and then Atlanta for like 3 years.
Oh, at the end.
At the very end, He was done. He was also fined an undisclosed amount that season for throwing a football at the crotch of Jets linebacker Brian Cox.
Class. Oh, you don't fuck with Brian Cox.
Brian Cox is a...
That's
That is a bad man. That's what I mean. That's a guy who, number one, they're not on the field at the same time. That's why he did that. Because Brian Cox will hunt you for that shit. He's a mean man. Yeah.
He had that board up his back so that his head didn't go backwards.
Yeah, I will hit you hard is what that was.
He wore a stretcher out there.
Yes.
You better watch out.
Yes. Your neck will snap first, trust me.
Yes. Good for you. I brought you a stretcher.
Yeah, here you go. It's actually complimentary. I bring this with me everywhere. It's a complimentary stretcher. Yeah, he's a badass. 2000 Broncos. They go 11-5 that year, but don't really do much there. Yeah. So August 9th, 2000, Romanowski indicted in prescription drug case.
Oh.
Says, yes, he's been indicted on 4 felonies for using this drug. The charges were announced today during an impromptu news conference at the team's training camp. Romanowski declined comment, but his attorney, Harvey Steinberg, said that he will fight the charges. These charges concern a medication that is routinely prescribed, yes, to people who are severely obese.
Right.
Not to 6'4", 240-pound linebackers who are in the best shape of the fucking top 0.02% of in shape of people on Earth.
He eats the same amount as those people, but he is doing crazy things to burn it off.
Yeah, a shitload of that. And it was prescribed for Bill after an appropriate examination. But the accusations are it was prescribed to his wife, not to him.
Yeah, right.
So this will actually, this is actually a benefit to us, he goes on to say. There's been a cloud of suspicion over Bill, and this will give him a chance to put it to rest. That's one way to spin it.
Yeah.
This is good for us to get indicted on 4 counts. It's really good. This is what we were hoping for. There's no immediate comments from the Broncos officials. They're going to wait to see how this goes. Romanowski was charged with 1 count of unlawful possession of a controlled substance, obtaining a controlled substance by fraud and deceit, and 2 counts of conspiracy. Not good. And also his wife has been indicted as well. She faces 8 counts of fraudulently obtaining controlled substance and conspiracy.
She's in more trouble.
Yeah, because she was the one doing it. She's the actual. She's the
pusher.
The middleman. Yeah,
she's the pusher man.
Romanowski worked with his wife. and also Loretta Johnson and possibly some other unnamed people to get the drug 7 times between September 1998, January 1999. It also says Romanowski and the others involved agreed to cover up what they had done if the scheme was discovered. Well, if it's so, who cares? Why are you covering it up then?
Right.
Yeah. Johnson pleaded guilty. By the way, the one person had to plead guilty in January to conspiring to illegally obtain a prescription drug. If she complies with the court order and stays out of trouble for a year, the conviction will not go on her record permanently. The case against Julie, the wife, is pending. Scientists are divided on the effects of the drug. Some say it would be of little or no use to athletes wishing to enhance their performance. Others said it would aid by speeding up the metabolism. I think he probably, in combination with whatever else he's taken, who knows?
Right.
It really doesn't matter if it helps him or not, because that's why it's not on the banned substances list for the NFL. The point is he obtained it fraudulently, and you can't do that with prescriptions, especially if you do it over and over again.
I couldn't give a fuck if it was Tylenol 3 or.
Then it doesn't matter to me. Yeah. So
Valium. If it's not a prescription for him, then it's illegal.
Yeah, no shit. So August 17th, 2000, Romanowski rages at racist allegations is the headline in the paper here.
He doesn't like it.
Doesn't like it. Former Broncos linebacker, Denver Broncos linebacker Bill Romanowski responded angrily Wednesday to a Sports Illustrated article calling allegations that he made racist remarks. He called them an absolute lie. One of his attorneys described the article as terrible, baseless journalism. The magazine reported that Romanowski, already under indictment on charges of fraudulently obtaining a diet drug, may have distributed drugs to teammates and suggested that a white teammate take the drug as the only way to compete with black players. That sounds like something dumb he would say, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not racist. What I mean is...
yeah, if you take this, it'll change your genetics. Go ahead. So,
what I mean is they got an extra bone in their ankle.
I took it, and it means my parents weren't Polish anymore. An unidentified teammate told the SI that Romanowski used the N-word. He didn't say to compete with black players. He said, "Yeah." So, Sports Illustrated spokesman Joe Assad said the magazine had no reason to question its account because this was a teammate that said that. So, Romanowski addressed his teammates during a morning team meeting, later at an emotional news conference at which he appeared near tears. In contrast to his tough guy image, Romanowski shared this message. Quote, you know what? This should be in their own words, I think. When someone fends off allegations of racism and saying the N-word in the locker room in a team that's half black, I think that needs it. In their own words, quote, I told them that I had a relationship with someone I considered a friend, and for reasons that I will not go into, the friendship went sour. And for some reason, I don't know, that person went and told Sports Illustrated that something I supposedly said to him. I told my teammates that it's an absolute lie. I did not make the statement that they quoted me saying in Sports Illustrated. I didn't do it. That's his whole thing. Wasn't me.
I never said that.
Wasn't me. Didn't say it. Guy's pissed off at me. So, yeah. 3 people close to the situation, including one of Romanowski's teammates, told the Denver Post they know the informant to be Martin Harrison, a former teammate of Romanowski's in San Francisco, who was in Denver's training camp in '98. Harrison was identified in the SI article as having given prosecutors a written statement saying Romanowski had offered him pills as pregame stimulants.
Okay.
Trying to use them like greenies, basically.
Yeah.
Like baseball players use greenies. So 2000, anyway, starts all 16 games. None of this matters. 3.5 sacks, 72 tackles. Same season he always
has.
Same
shit, yeah.
Same thing. 2001, May 16, 2001, they find out that investigators entered his home illegally. Statements to investigators by Broncos linebacker Bill Romanowski and his wife cannot be used in their prescription drug trials because officers entered their home illegally, a judge ruled Tuesday in Castle Rock, Colorado, by the way.
Really?
A Colorado judge ruled that a Broncos player didn't do anything wrong. District Judge Thomas Curry called the statements the fruit of a poisonous tree. Yeah, if they came in without it all goes down. Yeah, sure. If you don't have it. So because the FDA, or the Federal Drug Enforcement Agency, agents and county officers entered Romanowski's home without consent or warrant. Well, you can't do that. That's not allowed. Investigators said they merely stepped over the threshold of the couple's house, then stepped back and waited for permission before entering. Wow, that's pretty ticky-tacky. I think we can probably... Curry denied in a defense motion to dismiss the charges against Romanowski because of the way it was conducted. Harvey Steinberg, the couple's attorney, has claimed officers threatened the Romanowskis' nanny with deportation and harassed the couple at an autograph signing session. Curry has not ruled on the Steinberg's motion to drop fraud charges against Bill Romanowski. Steinberg argued that they were based on a vague statute. Okay, the couple's doctors expected to testify. He pleaded guilty to providing diet pills and was sentenced to 18 months of probation. So the doctor who prescribed them to them, that's what he pled guilty to, giving them the pills.
The pills without a prescription.
The other person in this pled guilty already to all that, but they didn't do it.
We weren't there.
Okay, yeah, that's the logic is just fucking insane. So,
and anybody that steps in my house is
even a step.
Right,
now you can't use anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought like they burst through the door with no warrant. That's what it sounded like to me, which they made it sound like. Yeah,
with a battering ram, blew it off the hinges.
Gun to his wife's head up against the counter, and she was like, "Okay, I took the pills." Like that's what I pictured in my head. Not a step in and then, "Oh, sorry, yeah, no, can we come in?" "Oh, yeah, okay," and then we'll go in because that wouldn't make a difference.
Wow.
But without his statements, June 30th, 2001, Romanowski is acquitted in a prescription drug case in Colorado. This is all being done. So. Romanowski acquitted.
In Castle Rock? He didn't even live in
Castle
Denver?
Rock. Well, that's where the charges were.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what. If
it's got to be where his house was.
Who knows?
Oh, that may be where the
doctor who the fuck knows.
Yeah.
He's acquitted Friday. He says, "I'm just so thankful to the jury that they found me not guilty." You fucking should be.
Yeah.
I take a lot of pride in being a good person and in being a good role model, and a lot of that was in question in the last 2 years. One of his attorneys said that the trial has taken its toll on the player and his family. This has been a terrible, terrible ordeal, he said. Wow. Interesting. He said, "We felt the need to bring this to the jury for the community to have a chance to speak."
Oh.
You know, the community who aren't Broncos fans at all.
We need to hear King Super's voice in this.
Yep. I guess Julie made the statement to the sheriff's official and the DEA agent who questioned her that she did it. So they had it all, but without her statements, they didn't have anything. Even though they had the doctor testifying that he gave it to her, and everyone knows he had it. None of that matters. So, wow, that's amazing. So prosecutors dropped the charges against his wife, Julie, who had faced 8 counts as well. They had to after the statement was dismissed. 2001 Denver Broncos, so innocent, clear and free.
Wow.
8-8. The Broncos go in 2001. Not as good here. Again, no John Elway.
Yeah.
So 2002, February 27, 2002, he signs with
the Raiders.
The Raiders. That's right here. Who will take on this guy?
Who will take on
who's a guy?
Fen pushing son of a bitch.
A spitting cheap shot artist who fucking just got acquitted on federal drug charges. Who will pick him up? Only the Raiders, exactly.
Who is their quarterback? Is Kerry Collins their quarterback right now?
This point, I don't remember. I'll check it out, though. I think, no, this is Rich Gannon, I think. This is the Rich Gannon era.
You're right. Yep.
This is the Barrett Robbins years when we talked about him. So this here, wow.
And he said about this, the reason I remember this is because he wasn't upset to go to their rival. He said the best part of the move was that the worst part of his move was that his goldfish died, but it was orange, so he doesn't give a shit.
Oh, that's very nice.
just really wanted every chance he could to take a swing at Denver for not keeping him. Yeah, and it's dude,
They defended you during. They defended you for spitting in people's faces. No, federal drug. They've defended you for years. They're tired of it.
2 rings, man.
Yeah. There's a reason why no one has re-signed you after a contract. You get that? Even though you've been very productive, but people sign you and then they leave you.
3 times now.
That's how it goes. So the Raiders, who probably, I'm sure, had to fight tooth and nail with the Cowboys to get such a ne'er-do-well asshole. I mean, God, I can't imagine. Jerry Jones is like, we need to have him. This guy's perfect for us.
This is the first time he's gone to a team post a Super Bowl run, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maybe Michael Irvin will stab him with some scissors if we can bring him in here. Get those guys to fight. Well, 2002 was the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Was it 2001 that they lost?
No, it was the next year.
Oh, it was this year.
Huh? This is the year. Yeah, first year with him. So he signs with the Raiders here. Contract is for 7 years.
Wow.
He'll earn $2 million in 2002, $1.3 million signing bonus, $700,000 base salary. So doing pretty well for himself. Between his base salary of $2.2 million and various bonuses, he was scheduled to make $2.9 million with the Broncos this year, so he's going to make a little less. Romanowski said, "It's like it was meant to be, me and the Raiders eventually." Yes, it was. It really was. Yeah. They make you feel like you belong. It's a team that doesn't look at things like chronological age. It's a team that, doesn't build their roster with logic and reason. That's why they fucking sucked on a historic level for the last 30 fucking years in this league. That's why. They don't look at things like chronological age. He just explained it all. And just looks to see if you're a football player. I wanted to go out with a winner, and winning is what Oakland is all about, even though we haven't done it in a long time.
It's been a minute.
Except for this season. Denver released him after they couldn't reach an amenable accord to his contract situation. He was in the last year, so they just released him. He seriously considered reconfiguring his contract by lowering his base salary, but they said that Broncos wanted to elevate a younger player to the starter role, so they wanted to kind of push him out anyway. Ian Gold is who they wanted to get in there.
He's good.
Yeah, he was. That's why they wanted him in there. So they saved about $1 million by releasing Romanowski. Romanowski said, "Great years, but things change," about Denver. Romanowski, but the Raiders fans have hated him for years. Obviously, everyone hates him.
Yeah.
Nobody likes him. He's a big, huge asshole. If he plays for your team, you sort of like him if you're a kind of an asshole.
And he's been your rival for the last 5 years.
Always. He's always everybody's rival. That's the name of this fucking episode. Everybody's rival. You know what? Right in that, everybody's rival.
Yeah.
There's no fucking other way to put it. He is everybody's. It's fucking sad.
Yeah,
so.
he was the Eagles' rival. Then he goes to the Eagles. Then he's then he goes to the Broncos. He's the Raiders' rival.
Hates them.
Runs on over there.
So he said, quote, "I'm a hated player around the league, but when I'm on a team, I'm a guy you like. I can't wait to hear these fans cheering me. I wish I could run out on that field tomorrow."
Yeah.
Raiders go 11-5, beat the Jets in the playoffs 30-10, beat the Titans that year, and then lose to the Bucs in a trouncing 48-21. Barrett Robbins ran away to Mexico and had a mental breakdown, and it's a whole big mess. Jerry Rice on that team, which I forgot about.
Is it? Yeah, that's right.
Started all 16 games that year. Fucking machine he was. August 2002, the Eddie George incident.
What is that?
Okay, here we go. This is from the... This is funny. I just like the way that it's put. In the Tennessean, this is the newspaper, they have like these, happy, not happy they have. So not happy it has under the heading not happy. After reviewing the play on videotape yesterday morning, Jeff Fisher didn't mince words about Thursday night's first quarter collision between Eddie George and Bill Romanowski. George suffered a cut on his chin after Romanowski got his hand under George's face mask. But Fisher was just as unhappy with the rest of the play. Quote, "I thought Bill Romanowski threw an elbow right in the back of Eddie George's head, if you want my personal opinion. There isn't a place for that in this game. I have a great deal of respect for Bill as a player. I've been with Bill, but you don't play like that."
Right.
He said, "I'm sure at some point the league will have to look at it. I'm not going to call the league to complain. The league's probably watches every play Bill's involved with anyway. Because he's always cheap-shotting people."
He's an asshole.
So the NFL fines Romanowski right after that. Obviously, a couple days later, they fine him. He ends up, they confirmed he's fined. He is Eric Barton. It's him and Eric Barton, each fined $5,000 for headshots on consecutive plays against Eddie George.
Oh, my God.
In an exhibition game. In a fucking exhibition game, this was. Headshots. In other words, let's knock Eddie George out of the game. That's what that was. Romanowski's second series as a Raider, he missed the preseason opener at Dallas with a stiff neck. He hit George in the back of the helmet as Barton tackled him at the end of a 3-yard run. Even though George jumped off the ground and angrily exchanged words with Romanowski on his way back to the huddle, the scene seemed relatively innocuous at the time. Then George caught a short pass over the middle on the next play. Romanowski made the intentional hit and finished the tackle. Or the initial hit and finished the tackle. Then Barton sent George's head to the ground with a push against his face mask after the officials had whistled the play dead. So he was called for a personal foul. So they're fucking with Eddie George. That's all it is. And that's not really, doesn't work. Eddie George will just still get 140 yards on you. He was nasty.
He's a damn good
He's a big guy, too.
Yeah,
Eddie George
was,
is not he's not Dexter Carter.
No.
Eddie George was a big 6'3", fucking,
Right.
well, he was a hoss, man.
That's
Fuck with that guy. High
That's
knees.
the Titans. They figured that out fast, and they got one right now the same way. Same
yeah,
kind
they
of player.
always.
Yeah.
Titans seem to know running backs in the last 20 years. So that year, he plays in starts all 16 games again, Romo. 4 sacks, 91 tackles, and an interception. Okay. Not too shabby. But that, it looks like he's not going to be playing much longer, as we'll talk about here.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So far, he's played 5 years in San Francisco, 4 in Denver, 1 in Oakland, 1 in Philly. 2003 Raiders, they go 4-12 this year. Yeah. August 16th, 2003, which is before the season starts, the Raiders suspend Romanowski. He was suspended for a day and fined by the team after he punched a teammate in the face during the team's practice Sunday afternoon.
Who did he punch?
Fracturing the player's left eye socket, knocking out a tooth. Okay, it's all fun and games when you're just making a little hit, but when you
What is that?
When you're ruining a guy's ability to make a living and put food on his fucking table, and he's on your team, you're a piece of shit, period.
Destroying bones in his face.
The agent for second-year tight end Marcus Williams, 25 years old, said Monday that his client filed a report with the Alameda police Sunday evening following the incident. Lee J. Culligan, the sports agent and attorney in Santa Monica, confirmed that Williams, who prepped at Berkeley High and played collegiately at Washington State, sustained a fractured left orbital bone and a broken tooth as a result of the altercation.
Wow.
Alameda police lieutenants said that the department would not pursue the matter after speaking with Williams Monday afternoon. The team probably told him, hey, don't take it that far. We'll take care of it in-house, I'm sure. That's the way the Raiders would handle it. Following a phone conversation with Raiders coach Bill Callahan, that guy's an NFL fucking failure over and over again, Sunday night, Williams told the investigator he did not want to pursue a criminal complaint against his teammate. So after he had a nice call with his coach, then he said, no, I can't have that. The cop said, quote, he said he kind of overreacted by calling the police. No, a guy hit you in the face so fucking hard he broke your orbital bone. That's exactly the response.
And took a tooth.
And took a tooth out. He said he wanted to keep it on the field. As far as we're concerned, the case is closed. The cops
Oh, my God.
Alameda police Monday evening said we're referring inquiries to the case to the Raiders. They said yes, the Raiders about it. Whoa. The Colligan, the agent, said, I believe we're more concerned with Marcus's health right now and how he comes out of it in the next few days. I'm hoping there isn't any permanent damage to him. After that, we'll have to see the extent of the damages and how he feels. Quote, I know that at this point, Marcus is pretty upset and he believes Bill should be held accountable, is what the guy said. So,
sure.
Wow. They said, Culligan said Romanowski pulled Williams' helmet off during a routine play in practice and punched him in full view of all the teammates and coaches.
More than
pulled
once.
his helmet off and punched him in the fucking eye.
That's horrible.
That is some bitch shit. That's
and
just
then in the mouth, too. Hit him several times.
What a dick. Oh, look, you want to see the picture? Come here for a second.
God.
Look at this. Look at this
Holy
fucking guy.
shit.
He looks like Mitch Blood Green after Mike Tyson punched him. That's what he looks like.
Are we sure he just punched him or didn't hit him with his own fucking helmet?
Fuck, man, that is brutal.
Unbelievable.
There was no reporters there because they're barred from practices. They said Romanowski, who's got a long history of violent on-field altercations, was immediately ordered to leave the facility after the punch. Wow. He departed as they were coming off the practice field. This guy went to the hospital. Well, Romanowski went home. He was suspended for 1 day by the team and was fined an undisclosed amount, said Callahan. Good job. Romanowski declined to comment as he left the facility. Quote, I didn't see the incident, Callahan said. I did speak to both. I guarantee you it's on video. You guys fucking, every practice, every inch of it is videotaped.
Yeah, you all know what happened.
You could have watched that in
Yeah.
slow motion in 3 fucking angles by the 2000s.
And if you don't have it, call Bill Belichick. He's probably got it.
He's got it. Trust me. Someone's got it there. That's great. Good one. Wow, this guy is, what a terrible piece of shit liar this Callahan is. I did speak to both individuals last night and got the story from them. I'm not going to go into the details because I did not see it, because I didn't want to see it.
Yeah, I turned my back.
They said there was so much swelling that doctors can't even determine the extent of the damage just yet. Wow, that is fucking wild. It took place in a drill where 7 offensive players run through skeleton plays against 9 defensive players. It's always a physical drill, Callahan acknowledged. It's a competitive drill. There's a fine line. We talked to our players about the fine line of finishing and respecting your teammates and for doing their job. Fighting is not finishing. No, and ripping someone's helmet off and punching them unprotected is really not finishing. That's just being an asshole. Asked whether he was disappointed in Romanowski, Callahan said, it doesn't matter who it is. When it gets to that severity, I'm going to level discipline. It goes beyond the game. Once it's beyond the respect and dignity of a player, it's a tragedy. So he said there's always a concern of a disruption to the team. Speaking to Bill and Marcus, that's guys in the fight, was pretty much a one-sided issue. We've addressed it and moved on.
We're on to next week.
We're on to next week. We're going to brush that right under the rug there. So they've moved on. They're done. They don't care. Callahan gives up here. So August 27th, 2003, Bill, now, he blames himself for the fight, he says. Obviously. I mean, considering it's definitely nobody else's fault. Mighty big of you, Bill.
Yeah.
Mighty big. So, yeah, he said, quote, I hold myself accountable. It was a classless move by me. Yes.
Oh.
There you go. That's not enough, though, for the guy with a broken fucking orbital socket there. He said, this is that guy's agent again. Is there any excuses for potentially ending a football player's career? He's kind of waiting to see the extent of the damage. We'd rather not sue, but if it comes down to this man has lost his football career as a result of this incident, I would hope we can get some compensation.
He's going to sue him. Yeah.
I mean, or the team for letting it happen. It's all under the team's auspices. I mean, they're the ones who you get sued for, and him. Probably sue everybody. They said that he's, this is what the agent says again, he's a little scared, if anything. Essentially, he's going to have no film, no playing time to show to market himself to another team that year, next year, if that's necessary. Bill said, quote, I made my apologies. I said what I had to say to him. I pretty much told everybody what I had to say. You can try to make excuses, but there's no excuses. It just won't happen again. Okay. There you go. So, yeah, he apologized, he said, to the rest of the players. And a linebacker said, quote, I don't see it as a big problem. It's just something that happened. Bill's a part of the family, and so is Marcus. Brothers fight all the time. Wow, that is wild. He said he talked with Callahan, and, he said he also denies having an anger problem. Romanowski said, quote, I've never really had problems controlling my temper.
No?
Which may be the most bullshit statement anyone on this show has ever made, and that's saying a lot.
The most obvious bald-faced lie.
That's like if Lawrence Taylor said, I never really liked the smell of cocaine. That's the same that's the same level of lie, Bill. It is. You fucking know it is. You are to tempers what LT is to cocaine. Fuck. He said, I am an intense guy on the football field, and sometimes I can get carried away. I just got carried away 2 days ago. I'm going to make the situation right from this point forward. Can I move forward? I have no choice. The punishment is not about a fine or missing practice. It's about what you learn as a person. You've got to look in the mirror and say, I screwed up. There's 2 reasons I play the game. One is my love of the game and my love and respect I have for the game. And 2 is to win the Super Bowl. And I can't do it without teammates. I let my teammates down, and I apologize to them. Well, everything should be fine then. You know, it's all good, I guess. He only plays in 3 games this year.
Oh?
And that's because he's got some concussions, he said.
Oh.
We'll talk about this. October 13th, 2003. Raiders linebacker Bill Romanowski doesn't know or won't say how many concussions he's had in his 16-year NFL career. A shitload, I'm going to say, if you lead with your fucking helmet all the time.
Won't say because he can't
Won't say because he can't form the words that make that number. because he's had so many. But he did tell SI this week that he suffered a concussion or got dizzy and nauseous from hits in the first three games of an exhibition game season this year, as well as in the Super Bowl last year.
Oh.
So basically every time he takes a hit, he gets nauseous and gets a concussion at this point, essentially. So the most recent of these incidents, he got popped by Broncos running back Clinton Portis in the first quarter of the Monday Nighter, and it has Romanowski thinking retirement.
Oh, Clinton
He
Portis?
said, Clinton Portis popped him.
Really?
Yep. He said, I have a dull ache in my head. Must have put a block on him when he wasn't looking. He said, I have a dull ache in my head. Each of these last few incidents, I get hit and then things get very scrambled. I get disoriented. Maybe 5, 10, 15 seconds. That's a severe concussion.
That's a long time.
That's a very bad concussion. If you don't know where you are for 15 seconds, that is... Think about that. You'd be out in a boxing match. You have 10.
Yeah. Oh,
You'd
God.
be out.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
For your safety, they'd take you home.
They take you home and say, you can't get punched anymore.
Yeah.
He said, and when I start to try to work out now, those symptoms come back, which is what happens with concussions. When you start doing anything, you get dizzy and you get nauseous if you have bad concussion
It's just
syndrome.
now been 15 seconds since you said if you didn't know where you were for the last 15 seconds, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous. He tried to jog at the practice facility, but said he got dizzy and his head started pounding after only a few steps.
He shook up his brain too much after jogging.
It's too fucking scrambled.
Wow.
Yeah. Nope, it's hurting. We're going to keep Bill in a fucking Nerf bubble from now on.
Yeah.
He said, when I went for tests with some concussion specialists in Pittsburgh, one of the doctors told me it was like he was listening to Merrill Hodge, Harry Carson, or Steve Young, all guys who retired from fucking concussions.
Who
all
sound
of them.
terrible. Yeah.
I mean, they're all okay, but they retired because they were of that. Merrill Hodge was a commentator forever. I don't know if he still is, but Steve Young's still out there.
Yeah.
And Harry Carson
does not
just got in the Hall of Fame. No, he doesn't. No, he got in the Hall of Fame, though. Yeah. Romanowski, who's won 4 Super Bowl rings, sounded like a man moving quickly toward calling it quits here. He's played in 243 consecutive NFL games, by the way.
243.
243, yep. He said, I'm not ready to make any sort of announcement, but I know this. I can walk away from this game, and if I do, I can be proud of that I gave everything I had on every play to be the best I could. Merrill Hodge, who used to play for the Bears and Steelers back in the day, he retired at 29 after a series of concussions. He's a running back. Yep. He said, even though no one works out or takes care of himself like Bill, there's no training regimen that can fix a brain injury.
Right.
Exactly. You can't just do sit-ups till that's better.
It doesn't get back.
You fucked your brain up. That's it. Romanowski sent next to Brett Jones on a flight to Pittsburgh for his examination. That's the former 49er tight end who was working the game for CBS. Jones had 8 concussions in his 12-year career that he knows of.
Right.
Told Romanowski about Young's concussions, which forced Young to retire. He said, quote, Jones said, you don't know which concussion is going to put you over the line. And I said, what more can you accomplish? But when you're such a competitor like Steve was or Bill is, you can't see beyond the next game. Wow. Romanowski said, here's what it comes down to. As a football player, you're trained to lie to yourself. You're trained to say, no matter how you feel, I'm fine. I'm the Iron Man. There's been a few times I've said that to myself. I felt one of these in the Super Bowl, but didn't say anything. I couldn't say anything. I just fought through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl. He wanted to play.
What are you going to do?
That's it. March 2nd, 2004, released by the Raiders after failing a physical. Yeah, he's fucked up. So
he's not even
can't pass it.
He's not in NFL shape.
No, they won't let him. It's probably a brain thing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
January 28, 2005, here comes Balco. Now, Balco is the Bay Area lab deal that had Barry Bonds and all those people involved in it.
It's all steroids.
Tons of people. Yeah. All steroids or whatever he was doing, a certain HGH compound thing. Mm-hmm. So lawyers hearing a hearing scheduled for Monday on possible government misconduct in the case has been delayed until March 16th. A link to Balco and suspected steroid use has also become an issue in a lawsuit involving Bill Romanowski. The lawsuit asking for $3.8 million was brought against Romanowski by a former teammate, Marcus Williams. He broke his fucking eye. Yep, Romanowski, longtime advocate of performance-enhancing substances, who's been implicated in the Balco steroid scandal, punched Williams, then a Raiders tight end, as we know. In a complaint filed, the Chronicle reported Williams said he sustained career-ending brain injury from the blow. And his legal team, in an effort to link the so-called steroid rage to the fight, had pressed Romanowski, the Raiders, and the NFL for information about Romanowski's possible use of steroids. Williams' suspicions have their roots in Balco, the newspaper reported, because Romanowski's name has come up repeatedly in the case, and in 2003 he tested positive in an NFL drug test for TGH, also known as the Clear. That's the shit Balco was doing. That's what Barry Bonds was on. Yep. The previously undetectable steroid that Balco is accused of providing. Court records show that Conti, that's the guy who was running Balco, told authorities that Romanowski was supplied with the Clear and another designer steroid known as the Cream. He had both.
Was in Oakland. Yep.
Yep. March 8th, he's being sued again, like we said. He said that he tried to explain the duality of his existence, Bill.
Oh?
He said he's a family man, but someone who plays a violent game. And he's soon going to publish Romo, My Jekyll and Hyde Life, which is his book. Yeah. It's going to speak of being a mild-mannered man off the field, and you play this violent sport with a lot of hitting out on the football field. So he's going to do that. Meanwhile, he's being fucking sued for millions of dollars. He told the jurors that he did punch Williams in the face, but did not remember much more about the fight. He said, there was a fight that broke out. My reaction was a reaction from being pushed in the back. Oh, well, that's fair. Pushed in the back.
Yeah.
Rip
Punch
a man's helmet off. Yeah. How about turn around, slap his helmet? What's up, motherfucker? And then you wrestle to the ground like football players. I don't know. The attorney said, Williams' attorney said, you were on the field. Tell us. This is your trial, Williams. And so they did here. He's seeking damages for alleged battery, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The Raiders have claimed they're not responsible for any damages, and they fined Romanowski $60,000 for the incident. So, yeah, they said a former Raider, Ryan Prince, testified that he and Williams were backup players trying to make the team when it happened. He said Romanowski punched Williams twice, first knocking off Williams' helmet before delivering the second final blow. Wow. Romanowski said Williams' helmet came off as I connected with a punch. He said he lost his composure here, and he said that, he understood. Wow, this is funny. This is Romanowski. Quote, he later lost his composure again, beginning to cry as he recounted his freshman year at Boston College, struggling to make the starting lineup and how it was his dream to get a scholarship. Right. Quote, here I am crying in front of you guys, he testified, wiping away a tear. Wow, that's fucking amazing. So anyway, he's been fined shitloads in the past, as we know.
And Oakland can't claim that they are not responsible if
you're responsible.
If they're fining a player who represents their organization.
They're wearing your helmet.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in your facility,
right,
under your coach's watch, everything, that's all part of it.
So they're saying that he's solely responsible,
all
not
him.
them? Is that what they're saying?
All him. That's it. Right. So Williams would eventually be rewarded $340,000 for lost wages and medical expenses. 2000. No, he's never plays again.
Never plays again.
Never plays again. No. 2005. Bill's an actor now.
Oh.
He's in The Longest Yard. Remember that remake?
Oh yeah, the fucking.
He plays in that
Adam Sandler movie.
Yep, and then he's also in Shooting Gallery, which I don't even know what the fuck that is. And I don't care.
Sounds like it did well.
Did amazing. So well, we've never fucking heard of it.
Yeah.
Book of his here, co-authored a book. Obviously, he didn't write it himself with crayon and toilet paper when his head wasn't pounding. Became a bestseller there, covering his entire life. Oh, yeah. May 18th, 2005, here in the newspaper, it says, Romanowski, quote, pushed that envelope on drugs. He says now he starts, because when you write a book, you have to say you can't just write a book going, had a pretty good football career. It was fun. Have a good one, everybody. You have to say, this is the crazy shit I did.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So he said he stayed one step ahead of NFL drug policy during his whole career, taking nutritional supplements the league had not yet banned. Tried to stay ahead of the curve, he said.
So he's basically the Bill Belichick of drugs.
Doesn't say we can't film people right now. Where does it say that the footballs have to be this fucking much inflated?
Just stretching it. Just stretching the rules.
He said, as soon as they found out that something could be tested for, I stopped taking it. I didn't want that embarrassment, but I pushed that envelope ethically and morally because I could take something that would help me perform better. It wasn't on the list. I was going to take it. He said, I had two criteria. Would it hurt me and would I test positive? In the end, there's been some embarrassment at what I had to deal with. He said he took supplements because he was insecure. He was insecure. Yeah. He said that in 2003, the NFL notified him he tested positive for, like we said, the clear there. Right. And he said it wasn't about illegal. It was about doing things that they couldn't test for. At the core, I compromised my integrity to become the best I could be to perform at the highest level. He said, that's the learning experience. If you continue to do the things that compromise your integrity, then what are you? Morally, you get in a bind. What do you want? Is it quality of life? Do you want to feel good? That was the struggle I had. Okay, we were hurting other people here. So October 9th, 2005, GQ article here. It's called Mr. Dirty Comes Clean.
How much are they going to talk about him?
It's fucking wild. They said that... Here we go. One of the things that stands out is at the bottom of the pile trying to rip a ball out of Dave Meggett's hands. Well, you should do whatever you want to Dave Meggett because he's a terrible rapist.
Rip his heart out of Dave Meggett.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Rip his cock off. All's like I'll take Romanowski over Dave Meggett. At least Romanowski's not raping people. This is any day of the week.
Yeah.
All's I could get was a finger, and there was a little snap, crackle, pop that happened. So, they said, did Dave Meggett know you were the perpetrator? And he said, I don't know if he did, because I got up fairly quickly after that one, and I couldn't get the ball. After that once, I couldn't get the ball. I remember a play or two later, him coming back with his hand all taped up. You know, mentally, physically, however you can get the edge is what I tried to do, at almost any cost. I wanted to win so badly that at times I would almost say or do anything just to try to gain an advantage. I crossed the line, and looking back on it now, I'm not proud of the things I did, and if I had it to do all over again, I would do it differently in some of those circumstances.
I broke people's fingers.
Anything you could get in the pile.
On purpose.
You cock, you choke people. They said, was it hard on your family that you were so caught up in the game? And he said, there's a price you pay for success. Things that are easy to attain, I don't think have a lot of value to them. So it's really, in any field that people choose to excel, I think there's a price you pay. They said, in your case, what was that price? He said, down to the core, it would be my integrity, my morality. Wow, okay. Interesting. They said, like Barry Bonds and Jason Giambi, you testified before the Balco grand jury. Their testimony was leaked, however. How do you think they feel about it? He says, it just goes to show you that here's the justice system, and on some level, they're probably dirtier than the guys who are doing the drugs. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. That, too, bothers the shit out of me. And that's a guy who's not all for the justice system and all that, but don't... Dude, these people who try to make themselves out of folk heroes because they've fucking done some illegal shit makes me crazy. You did dumb shit. Don't blame them and go, they're dirtier than me. No. They might be dirty too, but that has nothing to do with your dirt.
Right. The cleanliness of others relies nothing on what you've done.
Don't what about it, because that doesn't work.
There are people who have gone through the justice system who didn't do as bad of things as other people.
Yeah, it happens.
That happens.
It's not a perfect world, but also you're also a scumbag. So don't act like you're not. Jesus. They said, do you feel like you have the feeling that you were, to this point, you've sort of flown under the Balco radar, that you haven't endured the same degree of scrutiny that Giambi and Bonds have had? Well, Bonds was the home run king, and Giambi was a huge star at the time, so he was a fading nobody then. Are you concerned that this book may change that? He said, well, I think the one thing about them is that they're still playing the game, so for me, maybe I'm old news. Exactly. They said, what did THG, the Balco steroid you took, look like? What did it taste like? He said, it was kind of a golden color, I guess. It didn't taste very good. They said, did it taste fishy, like spoiled fruit? What are we talking about? What are you getting a fucking Yelp review of...
Are those two different flavors?
Yeah, I think what kind of bad, I think, is what they're saying.
Okay.
I don't know what it tasted like. It was just pretty awful. And my sense of taste, because of the amount of concussions I've suffered, is pretty bad. But it seems to penetrate some of my taste buds anyway. I said, how'd you meet Victor Conte, the Balco guy? He said, I did mineral testing with Balco for the last 10 years of my career to help keep all my minerals in balance. And he mentioned THG to me. He said that it could be a substance similar to a pro-hormone, to an androstenedione, androstenedione. They said that we really don't know what it is, and that they've tested a bunch of people, and it looks like you can take this and it's not on the ban list. The key was, would it produce a positive drug test, and would it hurt me? And the answer was no to both of those. They said, did it affect your moods? No. Okay, then you're just an asshole. At least you had something to blame it on at that point.
Yeah, they left the door open.
Yeah. Did it affect your sex drive? No. He said that They say Romo makes it evident that whenever you found a new pill or cream that worked for you, you would share it with teammates. Did you introduce any other players to THG? He said, I would share a lot of things with people, but I wouldn't share everything. That to me says I'm not telling you other guys that are doing it, which is fine. You don't do that. You don't tell on other people. He said, were there other Raiders who tested positive for THG introduced you by you to the drug? And he said no, because other Raiders players tested positive for it. Which I bet at this place it gets around.
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell.
Word gets around in the athletic community of who's doing what. And
it's written
different
on the
trainers.
And,
yeah, they know. Yeah, Victor Conti, 555. So, do you speak in length in the book about your sense of insecurity as an athlete? Do you think you needed performance-enhancing drugs, or could you have succeeded without them?
Yeah.
He said, I'll never know if I could have just showed up at 8 and ate eggs in the morning and a healthy lunch and a healthy dinner with glasses of milk, if that would have been enough. I'll never know because I've always tried to search out what I could take that would help my body perform better.
I'll never know because I was always on something.
Had to be. I think since high school, maybe. And in my opinion, I don't know. Because he said he really bulked up his last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think he realized. They said after your wife was charged with fraudulently obtaining phentermine prescriptions, the San Francisco Chronicle reported that Balco was supplying you with human growth hormone. Why is there no mention of Romo of HGH? Mm-hmm. And he said, because this isn't a tell-all book. It's a tell-why book.
Tell some book.
Wow. It's a tell enough to sell some copies book, but not enough to actually be lined up for charges.
All right.
For accepting illegal drugs. That's what it is. Wow. You write that your wife loved watching you play. Was it difficult for her to witness your controversial behavior, spitting on J.J. Stokes, for instance? He said, it's not like she's sitting in the stands saying, oh, wow, my husband just spit in somebody's face. I can't believe he would do that. I mean, a lot of times you don't know what's going on out on a football field. It's hard from the stands to see spit, I would say. You don't see that.
Yeah, from section 202, it's hard to see a little droplet of spit.
You need a TV to see that shit. Because they showed it over and over on the replay. You remember that? It was a really big thing. He said, what was her feeling about your reputation as a dirty player? Did she feel it was fair? Who cares?
What?
She probably just, no, it's his wife. Why would she take other people's side?
Every time he does some dumb shit, it costs her money. So she probably doesn't think it's dirty as much as she thinks it's fucked up. You guys took her mortgage money away.
20,000. How much was that boat we were trying to get? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. He said, I don't know if I've ever had that conversation or have asked her that question. He said, when the NFL was fining you on almost a weekly basis, did she say it's not right that they're doing this? And he said, my wife 99% of the time was very supportive and loyal to me and what I did. Some of the decisions I made, she did not feel good about it, and she let me know. And he said, for instance, and he said, phentermine, TGH, drugs I got in trouble for. Yeah. What did she say about those things? Quote, that's not in her value system, is what she said. Well, you've said that you would do almost anything to get a competitive edge. Where did you draw the line? He said, this is a great quote, the line was always moving.
Oh?
In other words, I didn't have a line. Sometimes it was about illegal or legal, and could I get away with it? Sometimes it was, would this create a positive drug test? So basically, Jerry Dahmer said, could I eat this person and not get in trouble for it? It's not that he killed people, but I'm saying, it's the same logic of...
Yeah.
My main moral thing was, could I get away with it? Which is not a moral thing, which is, we're not... Yeah, okay. But one thing I would never do is compromise maximum effort in getting ready for a game. Okay, well, that's fine. That's not what we're talking about. Or getting ready for an upcoming season. Being my best every time I took the field was the most important thing. He just tried to make it seem like you should give me credit for trying so hard to get ready that I did illegal shit. That's what he just said.
Maximum effort, illegal shit.
Wow. Yeah. Jesus Christ. This guy, he's ready. I swear to God, he's got one fucking hand nailed to a cross, and he's just trying to get the other one up there. He's like, how do I nail that other fucking hand up there while my fucking other hand is nailed?
Yeah, it's stuck. I can't work the ball peen.
Yeah. I'd love to walk around with this thing on my back because I'm really a fucking martyr. This guy's such an asshole. He says, being the best every time I took the field was the most important thing. What in your mind looking back is the first time you crossed the line? The point in which everything was different? He said, probably taking phentermine. Said, did you feel guilty about it? What was running through your mind? He said, no, I was so caught up in being the absolute best I could be and getting ready for the next game, the next season, the next workout. I was so blinded by what I had to do to be the best I could be to compete that there's a part of me that didn't really analyze and look at what I was doing all the time. He said, what did you think phentermine was going to do for you? He said, it gave me the sense that I could run through a brick wall if I had to.
Oh.
You just knew if you took that, boom, that was going to get you right for the game. Okay, they said, did it give you any side effects? And he said, yeah, you couldn't sleep that night. And if a football game drains your battery to 5-10%, then there was a negative amount of energy left after you took that. It was painful for me to talk to somebody after a game. It was like I would look forward to the off season coming where I didn't have to take it. There was only one time I liked it. The only one time I liked to take it, and that was right before a football game. Okay, did you see Jerry Maguire? I did. Okay. Do you remember the moment near the end when Cuba Gooding Jr. in that Roy Firestone interview starts to cry? It almost seems like a rite of passage for tough athletes, whether it's while they're still playing or afterwards, to kind of open up to show they have feelings too. What do you think that's all about? Number one, you got to realize that if it was just a non-confrontational football player, chances are journalists wouldn't want to do this interview. But as far as a rite of passage, I'm hoping that people take away from reading my book that this is a guy who struggled with fears and insecurities at times, and that ultimately he had a work ethic that was second to none and a passion and a love for the game that was second to none. Today, most people, this is the question, today most people think of first when they think of Bill Romanowski as Balco. Do you worry that might drown out the message of your book? Message?
What's the message?
Wow. He said, I'm sure there's people like yourself who are writing articles and creating stories who will focus on that. Okay? Because they want more people to read what they're putting down on paper or what they're saying. Yes, and it's not your fault for being. That's something people are interested in reading.
Right.
Yes, but I think there's a lot of people that will go deeper and reflect. Why? Why would they? So Balco's probably the biggest scandal in the history of professional sports, is what the guy said. Like, that's why we're writing about it. It's a huge scandal. And he said Balco's a very small part of Bill Romanowski. Okay, well, you don't get to pick your legacy is the problem. With any anytime you're famous for anything, you don't get to pick your legacy. Once you put yourself out into the world, you belong to the ether, and that's just the way it is. Other people choose your legacy.
Bill's trying not to stain it, and he wants fucking Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's already stained as fuck, I think, here.
Yeah.
So 2006, he's an actor again here. The Benchwarmers. He plays Carl.
Oh, that's right. He is.
Yeah, he's in that. Then he said, wow, 2006, he founded a nutritional supplement company.
Oh?
Nutrition 53.
What's in it?
Oh, my God. I'd love to know what's in that.
Zinc.
Jesus, it's
Just
ground up panda
overload of
dicks. That's
zinc.
what it is. Yeah, it's a lot of zinc. Zinc and panda dicks. Oh, man. 2008, Romanowski was the defensive coordinator for the Piedmont High School Highlanders freshman football team in California. Freshman team where his son played. That's why he's trying to coach his son. 2008, he's acting again.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he's in a movie called Wieners.
Didn't hear that one.
I don't know that one. He plays a cowboy. 2008, he also is in Get Smart. Did they make another Get Smart?
Nope, same one. That's the yeah they did, but it's Steve Carell.
Okay, that's right. He was playing that. Okay. That's actually a good casting there. Federal Air Marshal he played there, and then he's in Bedtime Stories.
Oh.
And he plays a biker. I guess. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
January 15, 2009, he said he had a meeting with new Denver Bronco coach Josh McDaniels to discuss nutrition. I couldn't even get it out of my mouth because it's so ridiculous.
What?
Bill, you're the last guy I'm going to discuss fucking nutrition with, okay? I'd like all my players to pass their drug tests and not get suspended.
That sounds like a Josh McDaniels move. That guy is a fucking turd.
Well, it gets better. No, it wasn't him. Romanowski said he's been contacted by Broncos owner Pat Bowlen to come in for a meet and greet early next week with the coach who replaced Mike Shanahan. Wow. They said that the vice president of public relations said that the Broncos had no knowledge of a meeting with Romanowski between him and Bowlen.
Well, Pat did have some dementia there at the end, so that makes sense.
Maybe that's what it was, yeah. Bill says, I'm going to profess my vision on how to better take care of athletes. He said he wants to be a coach someday. He even tried to persuade Bolin to let him interview for the head coaching job after Shanahan was fired.
Shut your mouth.
You've coached 1 year of freshman football,
and
your fucking brain is scrambled, you've already said, and you want to be the head coach? What are you, out of your fucking mind?
You want to be the head coach of a team that you publicly said horrible things about?
Yeah. I could see saying I want to be a linebackers coach, like a position coach is your first, that's what you go. I'm a special teams coach or a positions coach, and then you work your way up to coordinator. He said head coach. That's how many concussions he had. He thinks they were going to do that.
That was also at the time that they were throwing head coaching positions at ex-players, though.
Not ones that never coached before. They coached, these were coordinators or
did Singletary
young guys.
coach before?
Yeah.
Did he?
Singletary coached before. Plus, Singletary isn't fucking this guy either. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So
there's no drug scandal with Singletary.
No. He was known as the coach on the field. No one ever said that Bill Romanowski's brilliant on the field. They said he's aggressive. Singletary, they said he's smart and aggressive. It was different. So he's
spit in your face.
He created an elaborate 30-page PowerPoint presentation. Imagine having to sit through that with this moron.
Oh God.
But he wasn't considered because he's never coached anything. Right. He said if a coaching spot isn't available somewhere on the staff, maybe, for McDaniels, he wouldn't mind being the Broncos' performance coordinator, overlooking the team's fitness and health. Yeah.
With a drug scandal in his past.
Let's have him be the guy who tells people what to take. He said there's another level on where to take a team when it comes to the way it trains, is what he said. So, okay.
The lack of awareness is crazy.
He said he would it's wild that he doesn't realize that people would go, Bill, what are you, out of your fucking mind?
His self-awareness is zero.
0.0%. He said he would also hire a full-time nutritionist and bring in some of the world's elite strength and conditioning coaches. Yeah. So what do you do then? So
Right. What's your job?
He said, as for the protein bar, because that's what his company is going to produce, it would be like a mini Jamba Juice, complete with ingredients to boost strength, endurance, and the immune system. He would also design workouts tailored to an athlete's specific needs. They already do that. There's performance centers. All the guys that train for the draft in very specific, exactly what they do now, except they've been doing it for years, and they're not all crazy and concussed all the time.
He wants to get in with the Broncos to sell a bar.
Yeah,
that's what he
that
wants.
Way, so everyone will know about it.
Feed everybody his fucking granola bar.
Yep. And also, the Broncos are fueled by this horse shit.
Right.
That way, an offensive lineman isn't doing the same workout as, say, a defensive back. Yep, that's what they do, those performance. They do 40 times, they do strength drills, all that shit. What they do on the football field is totally different. Their strength programs and speed programs will be very different. Yes, they are, currently. Say you have 8 defensive backs. They're all going to be very similar in the way they're trained, but one day a week may be very detailed to what each specific player's needs are. Maybe one needs more leg strength. I think they do that with the guys already, the strength people. Maybe one needs more of a burst. Maybe one has trouble changing directions to the right, so you break that down specifically. Wow. He said that he has a close friendship with Bolin, so his preference is to land with the Broncos. However, he's hoping to break into the league in some capacity, whether as a nutrition consultant or a coach. He said, quote, I have a vision.
Yeah.
That's because you've been hitting the head a lot. You probably have a lot of visions. Don't follow those. Those are
all those players have in common. They all are eating a bar Romanowski.
A Romanowski bar. Wow. He said to give back is almost doing a disservice. It's almost like I feel like I owe this to the NFL for it being so good to me for so many years.
So now he owes it to him.
Wow. He said he also has a tight relationship with Al Davis, talks to him about nutrition and things about the Raiders too. He said if
about to die of fucking old age, so
at that point,
what's that conversation like? A dummy and an old man?
Tell me what you got there, sonny boy. Well, here's what I got. Jesus Christ. Romanowski, he said if Davis shows any interest, he'll throw his PowerPoint presentation over to there and he'll do what you're doing. They asked, well, how's Al Davis doing? And he said, he's still sharp as a tack. You got to be on your game. He's testing you when he's talking to you. He said, I'm going to go in and see how it goes. I know I can make a big impact with the Broncos. Never hear another word about I think they just kind of went, yeah, that's nice, and ignored him.
Thanks for the meeting. Have a great day.
2011, Adam Sandler must love him. 2011, he's in Jack and Jill.
Oh, the worst movie he ever made.
As himself, too. Wow, the worst movie.
Yeah.
Then in 2014, he's in Blended as a baseball fan.
Oh.
I didn't see that. I don't know what that is.
Probably a movie about families that are blended.
Maybe. That's probably our TV show, maybe. Yeah. February 2nd, 2016, Romanowski, oh boy, he doesn't like Cam Newton.
No?
Cam Newton cut short his post-Super Bowl press conference, and Romanowski went after him. He said, quote, this is hashtag Cam Newton, you will never last in the NFL with that attitude. The world doesn't revolve around you, boy.
Oh, take it easy.
You could say anything, but there's a few things you can't call a black guy.
Yeah.
One of them is that.
That word.
Can't call him boy. No. Obviously, the N-word. We all know the words that you can't say, and that is fucking one of them. And you know, if you say boy, it better be like, fucking, boy, you got a big old dick on you. Hell yeah, high five, or some shit like that. Like as a friend, not like you got a big dick on you, boy. It has to come first.
You got to say
and it has
like
to be friendly.
Flav.
Yeah, like
boy.
Or almost like oh boy, like wowie gee, you know what I mean? Like boy, look at you. You're not
golly boy.
Can't
boy,
be your
boy.
Your name is boy is not how it works.
You can't end the statement because it looks like you ended the statement.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yep. Had 1,322 retweets and 1,316 likes before he took it down quickly, by the way. That's how many people were happy with that. He was the NFL MVP that year, by the way, Cam Newton, who would never last in the league. So they said he posted a follow-up tweet explaining himself and telling people to chill out. Here's that. Quote, calm down, everyone. I meant he needs to grow up. And then later on, he says that was, let's see, let's look at the timeline here. 11:22 p.m., boy.
Yeah.
Okay. 11:36 p.m., calm down, everyone. I meant he needs to grow up. 11:55 p.m., I apologize for that remark, boy, in quotes. He's got
half an hour.
Half hour. Chill out. Didn't mean to call him boy. It was not intentional or even trying to disrespect others. Peace, everyone. He said he meant nothing racially derogatory. No, and he might not have, but you got to know better than he might have meant it like, I'm a veteran and you're a young guy, boy, but you can't call him that. No, no. You can call a child a boy. That's it. The boy is fine if they're
what he
8.
was trying to do, talking down to him, but you can't say that. You got 4 rings based on other people's backs, sir.
Yeah,
calm down.
Yeah. One of them's Jerry Rice's. He said Terrell Davis is another one. He said, I think the world of Cam Newton. I didn't like the way he handled the press conference. I can't believe that boy is something that's racially motivated. So it's my fault. I own it, and it's on me.
Uh-huh.
Is that you have to know by the time you're an adult, even if you're dumb. I get that also, and I'm just going to say this. He did grow up in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So in Connecticut, I grew up in New York. I never heard anybody say boy is a racial. That's a Southern thing, like the boy thing.
Right, yeah.
But I knew from movies, like I saw Roots. You don't call somebody boy. That's the fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if maybe he didn't see Roots, but I did, and that's what I saw. And it's one of those things that you just know as a non-black person that you don't call a grown black person boy, or they'll probably be mad at you.
Well, and from Connecticut, he may not have seen many black people at all.
He grew up on a dairy farm in Connecticut, so I don't know how many. I think you should know by now. He's been playing with black people
for quite a while,
20 fucking years, and I mean, so
he's aware.
Yeah, he said that he'd rather. He said that he played for the Raiders, Eagles, Broncos over the course of his career. He was asked whether he'd rather hit, if given the chance, Peyton Manning or Cam Newton. He said, quote, Cam Newton, are you kidding me? I'd hit him as hard as I possibly could, and probably at the bottom of the pile, I'd try to get him by the neck and choke him. Hopefully he can't breathe for a long time. Bill,
why did you choose the black guy?
Bill. You called him boy, and then he said you want to choke him to death. You can't. Even if it's by accident, you really, really got to fucking think of what you're saying before you say it.
That was somebody setting him up with a softball saying, here, prove you're not racist. Who would you rather hit?
Oh, Peyton Manning. I'd break him in 12 pieces. He's old, fragile.
And so white.
I'd retire him. You could have said that. It would have not. Yeah. Instead, he's like, I want to choke the black guy to death. Obviously,
the black guy with the fashion,
so he can't breathe for a long time.
Right.
Which is great. Good job, Bill. Well, and that was coded at the time too, because there was So, or if it wasn't, again, the dumbest fucking man alive. So he's either the dumbest man alive or a huge asshole or 50, a little of column A, little of column B. Which one is it? Asshole or idiot? Everybody, we've played the game 100 times.
I pray to God it was a reporter setting him up to really shape his image a little better and help himself out, and he just
fucked it all up.
Turned the gun upside down and shot it at the bottom of the boat,
and then in his fucking dick on top of it, just for good measure. So June 23rd, 2023.
Oh God, just recent, just recent.
Now. Romanowski and his wife, Julie, owe $15.3 million in back taxes, penalties, and interests, according to a federal lawsuit that claimed they used their company for personal expenses like spas and plastic surgery.
What?
They used company money and tried to write it off.
$15 million in plastic surgery?
Yikes. That is $15 million in California federal court. Wow, both named in the filing here. Despite being ordered by a pair of courts to pay prior tax deficiencies dating back to 1998, they neglected to do so, according to the lawsuit.
Man.
Total unpaid taxes, which accrued from penalties, interest, and unpaid taxes from 98 to 2007, is a total of $15.3 million.
Oh, boy.
The complaint says despite timely notice and demand for payment, the Romanowskis have neglected, refused, or failed to pay the assessments against them. He also is accused of using funds from his nutrition brand N53 to pay such expenses as rent, spa appointments, plastic surgery, chiropractic work, and groceries while the company faces tax penalties.
What did he think he...
I just thought that it was fine.
It's money. Yeah.
It's just money, and, I can just get personal shit done. The nutrition brand is also named as a defendant in the suit because the U.S. seeks to foreclose its tax liens against N53's assets on the grounds that N53 is the Romanowskis' alter ego. Basically, we're going to roll it all into them. Yeah. It's them. So the filing attempts to prove that Romanowskis and N53 are effectively the same entity and that the brand was only used to, quote, thwart the IRS's collection of individual tax assessments at the issue of this case. So it says he made over $30 million in his career in the NFL.
Really?
And it says now, and like we say, these net worths, they say that me and Jimmie have $20 million, and I assure you we don't. So you never know. Romanowski says that he has an estimated net worth of $4 million. That was before all the tax stuff in 2020.
He is negative $11 million.
He is in deep shit. That is not great. He says, Bill once said this, quote, "There will always be my next dream, and I will always be in pursuit."
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to wait till the end there to do he's been a real dick to everybody. Yeah. And at the end here, I certainly don't feel sorry for him, but I absolutely feel sorry for at this moment. Bill Romanowski, Director of Technology at the Q Forest School in New York here. Bill Romanowski, manager at AAA Hobbies and Crafts in New Jersey. Bill Romanowski, author at Oxford University Press. Baker Publishing Group, Professor Emeritus, Calvin University, a smart man, a learned man. And people go, "Oh, you're that dipshit." And he goes, "I'm not."
No, I write books. Yeah, we know.
We know, yeah. Jekyll and Hyde my ass. Okay. And that, everybody, is Bill Romanowski. And not a shitload of crime in this one. We had Johnny Tappy the last 2 weeks, which was plenty. Yeah. So we're like, this is just the kind of the story of a real asshole.
He's just a dick.
He's just a real dickhead.
He was known, when he was playing, he was known for being a complete asshole.
Everyone hated him,
And you figure sometimes people get labeled things. There's villains in all kinds of sports. He earned it. That's the thing.
When the players hate you for being a cheap shit asshole.
Cheap shots, spitting, the fucking things he did under the pile.
Reggie White was a beast. Yeah. Reggie White would just annihilate people. Yeah. Not a one bad word said about him in the entire fucking league because he wasn't a piece of shit cheap shot artist. He was just a guy who could throw you aside and sack your quarterback. And you go, phew, man, what a... Even Lawrence Taylor, outside of the fact that he did coke, you never heard one fucking word about him being cheap or, you know, hey, he needed to be a cheap shot guy to get in there. I mean, he was the biggest asshole ever, but not when he played. When he played balls out.
Right. His shots were some of the biggest in history, and they were all legal.
They were at the time anyway, So
I mean, now
there you go.
You can do a lot of those.
No, now I don't know. Some of them probably not. So that is Bill Romanowski. If you enjoyed that, definitely tell the world about it. Get on whatever app you're listening on and give us 5 stars. Say something nice about us and maybe something mean about Bill Romanowski if you feel like it. Who knows? So get in there and do that. Absolutely hang out with us. Also, keep an eye out September the 18th on a Monday morning, and it will be a Monday morning podcast every week. It's going to come out. Your Stupid Opinions is coming, where we are going to talk about reviews of everything. People, places, things, products, you name it. People are going to bitch about it.
I use things everybody uses.
There's a couple of these products that we don't use, but a couple that we do, and places, and everything from Wendy's to a pube hair trimmer. We got it all here. It's going to be wonderful. Tune in for this and find out September the 18th. Also, shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get your tickets. September 8th, we're in Atlanta. Some tickets left there. September 9th, Charlotte. Some tickets left there.
Yeah.
So get in there right now. December 2nd is Dallas, and that is... Those 3 are pretty much the only 3 with tickets. A few left in Philly, so you can get in there right now. You might be able to get to that one. But otherwise, everything else is sold out. Thank you for doing that, everybody. We really appreciate that, and we can't wait to do those shows. Shutupandgivememurder.com is there. Also, we're going to have another virtual live show in the fall. We'll give a date for that on Small Town Murder, though, because that's not associated here. So do that. Get in there. You also certainly want Patreon. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, a damn cup of coffee. You can have 1 cup of coffee or 200 plus bonus episodes to binge on and new ones every other week. I think we've made our case here. 1 day of coffee, make it at home 1 fucking day. Jesus, a month and do it. So there you go. Get that. This week is no different. What you're going to get is for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about Karl Malone.
Yeah.
And just kind of some weirdness. I don't even know how it's going to hash itself out, but how did you impregnate, what was it, a 13-year-old?
A child.
And a child. Either way, definitely a child, and then just be some heroic guy over the years. How did that happen? And then what else weird shit did you do that's kind of crappy also? How'd you treat that child and things? We'll talk all about that. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about just 2 of the craziest murders we've ever come across. While doing research, you come across a million cases, and every once in a while there's one, because one of the cases we're going to talk about happened in the city of New Orleans, so we couldn't talk about it, but it was just bonkers, batshit wild. And then another one just didn't quite have the detail, but the details of it are fucking nuts, but didn't have enough of a case to make a whole episode out of it. So, but man, are the details amazing. So we'll talk about both of those things. That is patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you do that. And you want to follow us on social media, we're at Crime and Sports on Facebook and Twitter, and we are at Small Town Murder on Instagram and Threads. So check that out and hang out with us and do all of that. And when you do, you will get a shout out. When does that shout out come? I think it's right about this time in the show. Jimmy, hit me with those like a lawsuit to Bill Romanowski.
This week's executive producer, Jordan Bennett, of course, who came to Chicago. Great to see you.
Good. I didn't see her, but good knowing you were there, Jordan.
Yeah. Laura and John Brace, they came to Chicago also. Kyle Norweg, he's going to come to D.C. Maria Wiedeker, and her birthday cat, Tofu. Happy birthday, Tofu.
Happy birthday, Tofu.
Meredith Powers, Kristen Swoboda. Kristen, thank you. Desiree Stevens, and other producers this week. The executives, we can't do this without you guys. You guys are really tremendous people. Thank you.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah. Other producers this week are the Barbershop Quartet of Mitch and the Shit Stains. Carl Kirshner.
Wow.
Carl Kirshner was in Minneapolis. I didn't see him, but thank you very much.
Well, thanks for coming.
Liz Vasquez came to Chicago. I didn't see her either.
Liz,
she went to a
nice
Sox game, too. That's cool. Good for her.
That's cool. Right on.
Peyton Meadows, the memory of Johnny Tapia, Captain Insano. Happy birthday, Girthy Gargamel and Locken. Lakeen, Lockhart. I don't know. Amy Deal. Amy Deal, Janice Hill, Hardy Belcher, Douglas Chimeric, I think, Brian Matvey, and Sabrina's second anniversary. Congratulations, you two crazy kids. Sonia Ann Coley? Who knows? Kelly Huth, Nikki Williams, Eric Keast, Nick Joseph, Lexi with no last name, Olahai Nanix, Jerry Bermudez, Melissa Parsons, Christopher Benefield, I think, Stephanie with no last name, Kobe with no last name, Kelly with no last name, Marcus Williams, Matt Blackmer, Cameron Smith, Rebecca Kentigos, the Mo, no last name, just the Mo, Sharon Maslanka, Kayla Gilbert, Sarah Fournier, Anna Glenn, Jessica Leisure, Jonathan Akers, Jelly Shots, Allison with no last name, John with no last name, Marcus Solomon, Jabois Yar, Gina Androdozzi, Paul with no last name, Eric Carvinelli, Carnival, Jeremy Seitz, Valerie Warner, Sarah Wern, Jules Bodine, Kristen Simons, Justin Jung, Yab Yummy, Just Me and My Murder Pants, Rachel Gerke, it's Dan Springer, Mary Townsend, Amanda Mongoluzzo, Sean Anderson, N. Davis, Erica with no last name, Brandon Schrick, Tracy with no last name, Trinity Hecadon, Crowded Crow, Isa Asgarari, Sean McCullough, Slow God, Gerard Strecker, Colleen Schlegel, Raydell Rubis, Ethan and Angel Creecraft, Abby Vernier, Ryan Tharp, Jennifer Regalado, Sarah Murphy, Emily Smith, Dustin Cole, Matthew Allen, Andrea Rigo, Heidi Posner, Debbie Sliger, Rigo. I hope it's one of those. Jared with no last name.
We're trying over here.
Mads with no last name. Charlie Kuhn, Kristen Marie Beznovic, Veron, Angie Nugent, Chris with no last name. Keegan.
I said Christ like it was. Oh, Jesus gave us money. Good. Okay.
Keegan Pratt. James Swindler, Sylvia Mace, Messi maybe, Matthew Dumas, Jeff Edwards, Allie Downs, Tabitha Hall, Mike TV, probably not. That's a pretty good one, though, from, what was that? Charlie Chalk Factory. Keith Bates, Dustin Taquato, Ruben Villarreal, Desiree Bovet, Chris Leitke, Jay Margolin, Cooper Frazier, Vanessa Stanley, Donna Bliss, David Kolatinsky, Damon Wilson, Joselle Yabich, Kokinda, Donnie nice. Kennedy, Kenneth Riggs, not okay. Zach Pollock, Josh Martin,
Zach the Pollock. Hey Zach, you Pollock bastard! Thanks a lot for your donation. We're very happy. Thank you.
Cynthia Colliner, Rachel Lewis, Hugh Mongo Johnson, Zach Zielinski, Jen Nigro, probably Nigro. God damn it. Donovan and Miranda Garcia, Bernice Merguia, Carly with no last name, Kelly Ferguson, Antoine Howell, yep, that's what it says. Jennifer Cox, God damn it, Keith Sibley, Jay Vallada, Carol Shook, Call for a Good Time, Ben Miller, Darwin with no last name, Jolynn Wilkerson, Ava Z-Man, don't spit.
I tried to take a drink and you said semen. What the fuck? Oh, God, you're killing me.
Isabel T., Logan Mylan, Amy Hudson, Lori Matthews, Tyler Fletcher, Tim Law, or L.A., Cisco Frost, Emily Blake, Emily G., Aaron Hughes, Ellen
Featherston. Damn it, I was going. Travis Gorham, Patricia Smith, Miko Pohl, Kendrick Sprouse, Dennis Kelly, Sean Barkley, Katie Zumbro, Ben in New Mexico, you poor bastard, Lindsay Olson, Spud Nick, Zach Eldridge, Black RKO. That feels terrible to say out loud. Joshua Personette, Mariel Harrison, Jay with no last name, Linda Weiss, Jeffrey Healy, Jennifer with no last name, Dylan McNeil, Sarah Dale, Desiree Stevens, Lisa Spence, Monique Corbett, Lindsay Gonzalez, Mary Carnegie, Nancy Papin, Deborah Janik maybe, Tiffany Evans, Camila Vieira, Elizabeth Bays maybe, Mark Williams, Elizabeth Armbrust, Ashley Hillis, God damn it, Tim Dock, Jamie Villa Rivera, Jamie Bronnenberg, Megan Eulery, Todd Perkins, Diane McCallumore, Mick Collumure. All right. Canada Lejeune, like fucking the camp. Cian Matthews, Britton Pruitt, Suzanne
French. Matthews.
Suzanne Shallow, Adrian Tuback, Heather Singer, Michelle Wilson, Spaz Legs Bebach, Hannah with no last name, Jawoo Koo, Jennifer Kaiser, Jason Michael, Alexandra S, Katie Grander, Ashler with no last name, Luke Cameron, Ryan Anderson, Lucas Hansen, Dan Keller, Robin Williams, Robin Wilson, Flash and Charlie Sunshine, Tina Comer. It's probably Comer.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Dory Myers, Sylvia Nelson.
Jimmie.
Sylvia Oliveris, Lizzie Nelson, Madeline Birch, Jeremy Horvath, Nicole with no last name, Cameron Harveler, Abby Smith, Lainey Brown, Nikki McNeil, Sandy Spence, Fabian Schwartz, Tom with no last name, Jamie Connor, Paul Warren, Lisa Maglio, ODS, Squirrely Boots, Brad Prouty, Dwan with no last name, Derek Durant, Caitlin Reedy, Wade Woodward, Katie Haug, Ramalia Guzman, Schneelawego Barnes, Elizabeth Pyle, Aisha Tayatamante, Florence Keurig, Haley Keeler, TJ with no last name, Sal Helps, Leslie with no last name, Christy G, Dylan Alec, Patrick Waithall, Jebediah Bililu Kimsey, John with no last name, Kaylee Alec, Sarah Fisher, Rain Ran, Rager, John.
You remember in a cartoon when a cartoon would run off a cliff, but then they'd run for a while in the air before they realized they were up there as well? Your legs have been moving for a while now. It's awesome.
John Mayle, maybe Molly. Casey Gooding. Evan Sunday. Maury, nope, that's Corey. Corey Murphy. Jessica Sykes, Dallas, Runastrand, and all of our patrons. You guys are amazing.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We fucking appreciate the hell out of you.
Truly, truly.
We hope that the Patreon episodes can show you just a token of our love for what you're doing for us. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do for us. If you want to follow either of us and both of us here on social media, real easy to do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. You can find the link there and link to everything else there. It's all there for the taking, goddammit. And otherwise, we can't wait for more Crime and Sports.
Can't wait.
And live from the Crime and Sports studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.